Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League. It's, well, going to be a long one tonight at any rate here, as the first match kept us on the edge of our toes. There are 2 overtimes, and we now are here, of course, looking down the barrel of FaZe, going up against Astralis. We've got Dust2 on the desk now as well. Before we get to a quick shout-out to Rushy, our ops surfer. He is single, ladies. He's married to the game, but he is single, so you can hit him up on Twitter. But let's talk about it briefly. That last game, we'll wrap that up real quickly again. Dust2, you were casting that one there as well. I don't know if you heard what was said on the desk there, but it seems as if the Hellraisers, I guess, a little bit passive there towards the end, but just some really nice play from Sticko, especially.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, you could see when they had the opportunity to close it out that they got really hesitant. Like, when they were just supposed to plow into the bomb side, get that one round, they would throw their utility and then just do nothing and then steer away, maybe go for a boost in middle and then again try to go to that A site and then go one by one and make it too easy. But also Dennis did multiple really nice plays there for Fnatic Teeth in that game. But then in the end, well, they made it happen.
They did indeed. Well, we'll just move on from that one there, as Fnatic maybe still a question mark hanging over their head. But speaking of...
Yeah, it's only been a couple of weeks,
yeah,
right? There's a lot of things they need to figure out. It's completely a new lineup, obviously, so you can't take too much away from it.
Yeah, people forget that this isn't a team just with one player coming in. We're all like, oh, let's see how this player performs. It is 3 out of 5, I guess, is a completely new team. The whole structure, leadership, everything's changed there as well. So we're definitely interested, though, to see how they track in the next few weeks. But, I mean, another team that maybe has a question mark over their head is Astralis. Obviously, in this next game, they were at LAN on the weekend. They went over to Power LAN, a lot of Danish teams at that event, and they fell. They didn't even make it through because I think it was Heroic that cut them down through that tournament. So a bit of a disappointing performance from a team that you'd expect to take it all the way.
I mean, definitely. They were always touted as the best team in Denmark since forever, pretty much. And even though they came back from a holiday and had a rough start in Pro League, you would expect it, on their home soil, especially when Dignitas also had a stand and they had AZ for Rubino. You would expect them to, pretty much walk through that tournament, but they fall down to Heroic in the semifinals, 2-1. And, they were saying how they were boot camping prior to that LAN, and they're still in boot camp now. Trying to sort things out, and they're saying how they felt that they've improved before that LAN. They crashed down, so...
Practice is one thing.
Yeah.
I've been there. In my own teams back in the day, and then I remember, for example, for Cologne with NIP, we were just destroying teams, and well, when it came to the tournament, we were just not playing up to that standard. So it's a very different ballgame, obviously, from practice to actual games.
Yeah, we talk about boot camping as well, and some teams almost treat it as like the magical remedy. It's going to solve all our problems here. But Dust2, I mean, in your experience, how hard is it to diagnose some of the problems that hold you back in some of these games? When you have a coach, maybe you have an analyst on your team, but you're boot camping and maybe things aren't performing and you're still not playing up to your potential. Can it be tricky to sort of find the needle in the haystack in terms of your issues?
Yeah, it is sometimes. I mean, a lot of it comes to just basically individually, from individuals not committing to a situation 100%, hesitating at times when they were supposed to just plow in. Then how do you really analyze that, except for the fact that, okay, next time you have the situation, you just gotta kind of go for it and, take one for the team.
Well, with a little bit of an introduction to where Astralis are as well, let's talk very quickly about FaZe. Obviously, Aloe now settling in. It's a team that's received criticism of having so many star players that no one actually gets to be the star. And then you add Aloe into the team here as well, which is obviously not really improving that issue. How are they tracking so far, in your opinion, gents?
I think they're faring better than I would expect them to, considering they had a lot of games early on, just a day or two after they brought Aloe into the team.
Very early.
They've really shown, that with their individual skill, they can take down some of these opponents and get some points on the board.
I think it's just a testament to the amount of skill the team has, really. They can play off of that a lot, and then when they build a little bit more their strategy book and their team play becomes better, I think they're going to be a very, very interesting team to look at. Aloe as well, being a very aggressive opper who likes to be the playmaker kind of opper, I think that will add an extra dynamic in their way they can play.
All right, so very quickly before we jump in, guys, we saw the doubleheader, the cash doubleheader between FaZe and NIP recently. Not good for them. Obviously, the first map was a lot harder. They managed to get 12 rounds in the second. What did we learn from that one in terms of how they're adapting or how they're playing in general up against a team of NIP's caliber?
NIP is very good on cash.
It's a very solid point, has to be said. I mean,
it's unfortunate that they lost cash before that. The one time they played it in Pro League against Envious as well. So maybe just not, up to snuff on that map in particular just yet.
Yeah, maybe more about NIP we can take away than that. It's maybe hard to get a read on exactly what FaZe we're doing. But let's now throw it over to the desk to jump into this map. It's going to be Dust2 and then Mirage. So an interesting couple of maps here. The last time we saw FaZe on this one, they lost to Mousesports quite harshly over at E-League. So, gentlemen, we're going to be passing... What's that?
Who loses to Mousesports?
Now. You behave yourself. All right, let's pass it over to Henry and Sadicus to take us in.
Thank you very much. Yes, losing to Mousesports is extremely, extremely challenging. I mean, come on. They've got Nico on their team, and that guy's not very good.
Loving the head today, Matthew.
Thanks. I'm Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. That's actually what's happened is I've succumbed to the gaming life, and I've become one with the gamers.
Well then, shall we talk about this one? Looks like FaZe are going to be playing Astralis. We've turned up just in time, as we're going to be playing Dust2 here to kick things off, then Mirage. It's going to be 5 sets of armor for the CTs. We're getting straight into this one. We're a little bit behind schedule, but let's start cracking on. No aggression from the CTs as of yet, from what I can see, but there it is. Rain is looking to hunt towards middle. It's going to be a fast play from Astralis towards long, so actually the CT's pretty far removed from this situation. It's up to Jacob as he gets the first contact from the A site.
So far, so good. In terms of information, they can try and rotate back around. They were pretty good bias toward B, so they're going to have to be quite quick about this, even though they've given up long, though. It's, I would say, still favorable with Alu this far up middle. He'll pincer them in, and he's got the range game with the USP. However, he's got a problem. They're all coming back this direction. He's caught in the corner, flash around, and Kerrigan will find him. So it's one for Astralis, and just like that, FaZe's plans are foiled with an overcommitment perhaps from Alu. It seemed like the right idea, but unfortunately caught in the wrong place.
This is nicer. Look at Device. He's actually going towards long. His teammate's getting towards B as well. KRB holding middle. So you can see the city's trying to hunt for information here, and Jacob's doing a good job. But Device, once he gets to the A site, he's going to try and wait till he gets contact here. Then his teammates will go towards B. You can see them waiting towards that as well. That's actually pulled Kirishima out of the side as well. This is looking so good for Astralis. They can walk into an open bomb site and actually get the free plant down as well. And they actually have a ton of time. Kirishima coming back through the doors. He's not sure, but he can probably hear footsteps at the moment. There it is.
Kishima's trying to fire through the wooden doors and catch them on cross. He's a little bit late to do so, so it's Xyp9x instead to watch window with bomb down now for Astralis, still with a man advantage, and Jacob only 1 HP. He's going to need a lovely shot from that USB. Problem is that as he goes toward tunnels and tries to allow his teammates space, okay, never mind, he goes down straight up. I thought he would get caught from the player rotating in from middle. That was Device. He goes down to AZ, but still they have the fortified positions from Xyp9x, excuse me, but AZ finds him instead, and they actually pull this back. I'm impressed.
I'm not sure if that's amazing from FaZe or a bit of a blunder from Astralis. How is AZ getting through the window like that? He gets taken down at 10 HP, 1 more bullet required. It was the wallbangs from the Glock that was trying to finish him off, but Astralis have perfectly approached it around. They get long control. They get the first pick from the aggressing CTs as well. They leave Device in the pit. He has a nice fake towards the A site. It's an open B plant. And all of a sudden, the FaZe retake comes in. They've got 5 sets of armor as well. They don't even have kits. And somehow they're coming out on top there. So Astralis got to feel a little bit gutted after that one. But FaZe do pick up the all-important pistol. We go into the second. Of course, the bomb being planted for Astralis means it's going to be 5 PT-50s here. Alu looking to hunt with his scout. There's more aggression from the CTs. They don't want to lock this down quickly. They know money is available for these SMGs, but Rain taking a ton of damage at the start, and there's going to be a PT-50 headshot from Xyp9x as well. So Astralis have got the man advantage for AZ. He quickly sees to that and brings it back to the 4-on-4.
Device, though, with this MP9. You know, I never thought about this. Someone in chat just brought this point up, the second part of this, and what it all means. It makes sense why Alu joined FaZe.
Go on.
Because it used to be easy for ENTs, but if you spell FaZe backwards, it's easy as...
Ah, yeah, that does make sense. That's probably why he did join his team.
That makes perfect sense.
Run boost coming in again, successful. Ooh. Actually, a headshot coming in as well.
That's
Takes down
lovely.
Alu. That is absolutely delicious, I have to say. That very rarely works, and somehow she gets the kill out of it as well. It's getting very problematic for FaZe, and it's going to be a man advantage, heavy man advantage, 3 versus 1 now. They didn't have much at all to work with. 5 P250s, nothing else purchased. FaZe the rifles as well, and now just Kirishima. No kit, no grenades, hoping he can find some quick and easy kills here, but it'd be up to Astralis to throw this one away.
I wonder if they watched G2. Remember when they failed that run boost?
Yeah.
Like 3 times?
Every time you see a run boost, it normally doesn't work out, but it's KRB gets launched into short. Normally it's just to get the plant down, but he somehow finds a kill towards the car area as well. And this is just consolation kills at this point. Kirishima just trying to take men down with him. It's Kerrigan on 20 HP. He's got the M4 Device on 4 HP. One of them might go down. Who's that towards CT spawn? That's actually the Device. So he's only got the MP9. He will go down with the bomb. But he knows it. Throws the gun on the floor. Celebrating, of course. That's a big round for them to pick up. 5 PT-50s, man. No grenades, nothing. Just a run boost and a dream.
It works. I mean, that's very, very cool. Kiervi as well, very getting the kill, very impressive from the distance he did. As you said, he got the headshot all the way around, but I've got to see more from Kiervi, so I'm going to kind of put a scope on him, put him underneath the telescope, and watch him closely this evening. He's been quieter than I would have expected.
You can see FaZe at the start of the round, as I was kind of explaining. They were looking for those eco frags. They wanted to lock it down the SMGs and actually start farming that cash, and that actually punished them to start. They lost that early man and did come down to a 4-on-4, but the run boost came in and Astralis capitalized. So you go towards that long control once again. There is a force buy from the CTs, of course. We'll see what they can do over it. It's a double scout and an M4 combo. A couple of 5.7s chucked in for good measure as well. Smoke and 2 flashbangs. But to this point, with long control obtained, you can see Device. He's got the AWP. There's been some speculation as to who's going to be taking over this role for Astralis. Carrigan has been doing it recently. Most famously, and probably in their best era, it was Device. Yep. But Occasion B at times was trying it. Obviously not here anymore. But there it is. Rain with the scout. Takes him down. Big scalp to take for reasons I just explained.
And as well, famously KGB on this map, remember, at Car. So it's something we still kind of bring up in this map in particular.
Just have a quiet point as well.
Okay, not quiet.
Keep going.
No,
keep going, Matthew.
Loud and proud is Rain. Why not? We're going to see potentially back-to-back force buy wins to start this off as FaZe trying to claw back from what they lost against a run boost and some pistols in the previous round. Dupree walks around the corner. He'll take Rain back, but watch the position of Car. Jacob, he's got there undetected these times. One in Dupree, traded by Zipix, but then he's tagged up. Alu, he gets him back. I take that back. The scout just missed. He's 77, not 30, so obviously the scout not landing on the body. And Easy will walk up. He'll tag back. You may get your quiet point in a moment, Henry, but bomb planted for Astralis. Retake may happen. AZ hits the shot with the 5.7. He elects to fall away from the flames, while his teammate, Kiyoshima, thinks we better go and gets ahead of him. So they'll slow down temporarily and let the M4 go to work. No drop down just yet. Zipix, he hasn't spotted it because he's playing a passive angle on the ramp to try and get headshots. He's found the first. It's the low HP on Easy. Now Kiyoshima knows exactly where he is, but has to try and change his angle, elevate himself, and does it. FaZe will get the defuse.
Indeed they will. What a round that was. The scout from Rain. It was a difficult buy for them going into this one. 1 in 4, 2 scouts, but they got the long control. Like I said, Device with the AWP, expecting to capitalize in those positions, but Rain was from jumping, scout headshots there, 2 of them to kick things off, and then the 5.7s are chipping away at the HP of Astralis. Comes down to the 1v1 in the end. Here's the first shot from Rain, jumping up. Device is using that little ledge as well. He's not expecting that to be coming in, and it works absolutely perfectly for Raze there. 2-1. They answer back with a force buy of their own, but there is still money available for Astralis. Device actually still has an AWP. It's actually quite a reasonable buy going forward, since they did get the bomb down once again, but it's going to be the CTs still in a difficult position. Max 7 in the hands of Alu. Jacob with the UMP, and fast play from Dupree here as he gets straight out towards mid. No smoke towards CD spawn for now, as well as going straight towards a B bomb site, unannounced, and seeing if they can catch the CTs by surprise here, but apparently they can't. AZ's ready for him and takes him down towards the window.
Smokes toward the tunnels to redress the fact that they've since dissolved. Dissipated. Or perhaps in simpler terms, just disappeared, Henry.
Yeah, why not? Well, 5 and 4, man advantage was picked up by AZ with a fast mid play from Dupree. He was trying to surprise and open up a bomb site for his teammates there. Didn't work out that way. Now he's definitely pieces towards short as well. That's not really working out for them. As Jacob drops first, you can see Alu just at that Mag 7 gets to this position where we have seen chaos ensuing before. The jump shots definitely are deadly, but you need to be waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
Rain's gonna strike now against Kierby. Alu gets Kerrigan, and Rain snap back to find Zipix over the box. Headshot with the M4. It's suddenly down to just Device, AWP in hand. He's anticipating the high angle of approach from Rain, who therefore jumps and spots him and turn. Shot out, does manage to get it cocked in time again to fire back, but he's got picked up the bomb. 30 seconds, 3 HP, hits a shot on Easy as he jumps up to get information, no more. Taps it out, baits it, and potentially the third. Kiyoshima will get it back. If Device had hit that, I'm not sure we would have seen a finer round in a while.
Yeah, I think I'd been falling off my chair had that happened. This is a little bit suspect from Rain. He's got 30 seconds. I think he's just got that tunnel vision. He feels to have had a sick round so far. Let's finish off and get the final kill. And he almost loses the round for his teammate. That no-scope was very close indeed. That could have been absolute pandemonium, but it's going to be 3-1. FaZe just about managed to win the round after a fantastic play on the A side from Rain. Alu with the orb this time, and it's a Tech-9 forced by once again from the terrorists. They're going to be going straight into the B side, and Rain's waiting for them once again. UMP this time, perfect for close range encounters. He gets the first 2 kills, headshots, can't find the third. And Astralis picking up a couple here. It's just an absolute brawl on the B side. Equal situation for now, 2-on-2, as Jacob rotates towards lower B. Well, towards middle, maybe.
We've got an intense and fast game so far. Let's hope it keeps up. So far, FaZe, though, are the ones in control at 3-1, but bomb once more threatening to be planted. Held off. Device baits in the plant, fakes it out, and they catch Kiyoshima in the window. It's just Jacob that's left alive, UMP in hand, and he's going to try and walk back in once more. Device will bait, try and switch it out again. They've got to use their strength and numbers, and they've got the time to work with. But Jacob, a full set of nades, full arsenal of nades, and 2 headshots on the way through as he isolates Kerrigan, caught trying to get back to the closet.
I thought, the fact he had all his grenades, he heard the plant going down the back right as well. He's using the incendiary, make one of the players face, but all of a sudden it all falls apart for Astralis. They go for that fake plant, and that's the opportune moment for him to walk into that site, to that stage. He knows one player is going to be out of that for at least a second, that situation. He faces the perfect time, takes them both down, and FaZe go up 4-1 here. It's another force buy from Astralis. This has been such a fast game, as you said. It's going to be Galil's, Scouts, UMPs, and a Deagle in the hands of Dupree. And this time, though, FaZe are starting to get well equipped themselves. Alu with the AWP. He has been taken down to 32, but still, they've got a huge advantage going into this one. I'll take an absolute magical play from one of the Danes here to actually get into this round. We know they've been in a slump recently. They're on boot camp now to kind of rectify some of the issues that have been happening recently. Trying to adjust the roles, it seems, again. We have seen Device mainly on the AWP, and that was not a plan. Well, that was not part of the plan last month, at least.
And as Mitch mentioned on the desk, they sent in a tweet saying, all right, we're feeling better about things, or something along those lines. Go to Power LAN and lose to Team X again and have an abysmal time. Once more, heroic, I should say, who I have to give credit where credit is due, did very well at that LAN, are looking more on form. So we have 3 Swedish teams to watch right now. We might have 3 Danish teams if they continue to rise as they are. Either way, Astralis can no longer comfortably claim that #1 spot if they don't pick up their socks soon.
Sure, control has been obtained by Astralis. Smoked up for now, but they still... Well, the problem is they don't have any grenades going into this side, so they're going to have to walk in, hope for the power and numbers that works out for them. But Alu gets the first kill. He's got flashbangs in reserve as well, and doesn't land the second shot here. The bomb would plant towards short, but that's a nice one from Device. Starting to step up here. This actually starts to get a bit uncomfortable for the CTs, rotating through CT spawn. Still have the man advantage, but Astralis have got time to set up.
Jacob's going to go start this off from catwalk. 2 underneath. 3, actually. Take that back. There's a 4th one. Zipix will find Rain. It's Device that turns it around, though, and Kerrigan's found a second with the AWP. AZ goes to the corner. He'll get caught by Device, and finally Astralis get round #2 when the guns are drawn. They lose 3 players in the process, a reset of 3 rounds, but they'll be able to buy this one. They need to stay slightly efficient in this, though, against the Pistols, because that's how close these rounds have been. They're already forcing on the CT side.
Yeah, when will the madness stop here? It seems like everyone wants to be force buying, is trying to try that luck, as Astralis has stepped up in the last round with no grenades to the A side as well, and Alu opening things up. I thought that was a foregone conclusion, but apparently not. Astralis, like I said, even with the man disadvantage there, time to set up, and it's Dupree this time, steps up with the MP7, straight towards long by himself, and AZ finds a headshot in return. It's just trading back and forth here. For now, Astralis have got the advantage, but Rain, he's looking to find more as he gets towards the long doors. And a 5-7, a CZ, and Kiyoshima, the Scouts, all FaZe have to work with here. Surely Astralis can get 2 in a row.
Kiyoshima will elect to rotate toward B. A Scout to try and hold off. The absolute charging Astralis. They slow temporarily to allow Device a chance to try and get a pick for them, make their job easier. And then the entourage will march toward Kio's now passive position on top of the box's backside, trying to take advantage of those scout mechanics. Zipix just watching for rotations at T-spawn. 56 seconds. They don't have to commit to this just yet, but Keo already making a little bit of contact toward Device is going to call for help in the form of Rain. They've got to try and take these gambles, these early rotations, and strengthen, solidify the defense as much as possible, being down a man. Especially in the B site, which is harder to retake, in my opinion, than A.
This kill, this is what it comes down to. If Dupree can stay alive there. Oh, did I not see him? There it is. Surely get the easy kill here, but he should be taken down by the teammates coming in from a turn top of middle. But they've actually opted towards long, so 3-on-3. Time ticking away. They haven't got the way to the site yet. And it's going to be an AQ picked up by Alu as well.
And he was smart. He didn't go for that right away. Once he realized no one else was there to trade it, then he grabbed the gun. He's already made his way back to catwalk. He'll get Molotov'd by Zipix. But they haven't spotted him yet, so that's just to cover off a cross and a plant toward the site. But he can sit, be a slightly complacent, let time expire just temporarily while his teammates get in a better position. Rain already pushing back the player at long. That's Device. He misses a shot towards CT. This is going to put the 5-7 up close. He's got to go pistol versus pistol, missing the shot, and Rain's got it. It's going to now put pressure onto Zipix, the last alive in this, but he's hit Kiyoshima jumping once more. AWP in the hands of Rain, tags him through the box, but just 83. And Zipix gets above once more. Another 1 versus 1.
Yeah, these rounds have been absolutely nuts here, but Astralis, there it is. They managed to get 2 in a row. Definitely wasn't an easy feat there. It comes down to another 1v1, and FaZe actually had the advantage. Kiyashima trying with the jump shot there, actually exposed himself a little bit too much. Potentially could have waited for his teammate to come with the AWP and applied more pressure and had 2 targets on the screen instead of 1. I feel like if he'd been more patient, that could have been their ticket into that round victory, but this will be the eco from FaZe finally. 5 USPs. Ali gets tagged through the doors, and this should be a time now for players like Carrigan with this SMG to farm some cash, but he gets caught. But the teammates do help him out with a flashbang there, so he does stay alive for now. And it's going to be a 5-on-2. Kiyashima and Jacob just waiting on either side of the map as well. So Carrigan molotoving out Jacob. He's got no reason really to stay in the fire. This has to fall to his death. And Kiyashima now.
Kierby, I think, already spotted him. Yeah, so they check it. He spots him through the door. Most straightforward round we've had yet. Perhaps a moment to breathe. Kerrigan, though, SMG gets 4 kills, which is big. I mean, you talked about the AWP, how they've been passing it around. We know Kerrigan is willing to pick it up if he needs to. More so Device on the T side, but if anything, he builds up a bank where they can start to stabilize an economy. He could potentially buy an AWP out for Device, etc. So
it was the rifles of Device. So he said recently, well, maybe a month ago, saying, "Oh, my AK feels much better. I want to be doing this role and trying to get back into it." And Carrigan will be taking over the AWP. And you can see, obviously, the results haven't been great. Then you maybe need to go back to Device, who at his best can be a world-class AWP player for sure. But it's all about the confidence, I guess, with him.
And you kind of have to wonder right now. In my opinion, there's no real Danish opera that stands out. You have to wonder if maybe Cajun B could have transferred into that with a full-time obligation, because he is starting to look more and more on form in Dignitas, and they switched it at a time when things were more successful than they are, before rules were clearly defined in this team, and maybe there's something there. You know, maybe that was the key to just try and get him in another position, but hey, obviously they felt differently. Jacob, meanwhile, he's out to ward long. He's got support system in the form of Alu, and they set for, well, I'd say a bait and switch, but it's not really. They'll confront Jacob if Alu doesn't stay aggressive and peek out early. But in doing this, they give up catwalk. Astralis elects to go this route. AZ's tagged down to 20 already, but it's Rain that's down below in CT spawn that has to try and cut this off. Smokes, flashes go down, Smokes onto the site. None dropping just yet, so Rain stays passive, tries to use the vision from afar, but Kerrigan already clearing out Goose. They'll go for the safe plant on the bomb. Smart, very simplistic, but smart Molotov onto the ramp. They double that up as well, so no one can pass over to catch them out as they retreat back to quad, and Zipix will just wait for anyone pushing up long. This is actually interesting that they'll bring Device to cover off that position as well.
Device in a perfect position here. You can see the CT struggling, no kits, have to start facing. They're going to be pincering from CT spawn and long, but Device, a lot of freedom to move. But Kiyashima is starting to apply the pressure. Dupree, Zipex finding kills, left, right, and center, and Dupree finishes it off with 3 of his own. And you can see their FaZe. I think at that point, when you're so far removed, you've got to come from CT spawn and long. You've got no nades, no kits. Maybe consider saving the weapons at that point. It was just easy pickings for Astralis. Device especially, he's just a turret on the side, the sentry gun, as they run into his crosshair. They didn't really have much to actually hold them off, and it will be a technical pause here as we are getting to round number 10. And Matt, maybe we need it, because it has been a pretty insane game so far, I have to say.
Yeah, this is one of the faster-paced online games we've seen in a while, and every single round, aside from the one anti-eco victory that we just had with Kerrigan getting 4 kills, has been contested. Yeah. And down to either a 2-on-1 or a 1-on-1 situation. So money back and forth, as we saw, 4 spies coming out everywhere. And finally, Astralis are looking to take a stranglehold on that. They've got essentially a round in hand at this point, which in a game like this, that's big. That's a lot to rely on, in the sense that FaZe is going to be constantly grinding to get back into it now. We see them going again to pistols. We're back underway already. Device trying to fire in preemptively to the smoke at the doors. No one gets caught. It's only one player that's crossed. AZ, second man that might elect to do so, is going to go up catwalk instead, and he actually does find one with a deagle. Takes him 3 bullets, but he gets away from it as well. 49 HP as he keeps his head down to retreat round the corner and back toward the A site.
Yeah, one of the young superstar Danes in the form of AZ, looking to have his breakout land, I'd say, in this year, but we know what kind of talent he does possess. Does kick things off with a nice Deagle headshot there. It's going to be a 5-on-4 and potentially another round where FaZe can find some sort of footing into this one. Let's try to slow things down for now, but JKM, he's actually kind of thinking about going into these long doors. I guess the idea for that setup is to bait Alu in if they do come towards that area. Molotov towards the close mid doors, that's to flush out anyone who's behind the right-hand side, but Rain trying to protect themselves from the mid-split here, but it looks like a full-on B contact play, and that probably does make sense. But Kiyashima, Deagle on the platform, if he finds one and can stay alive, that gives his team enough movement to rotate in. It's not going to happen. That was probably the only opportunity they had to win this round.
So Kierby, who's been quieter as of late, hasn't really needed to do as much with all the heroics coming through his teammates, but he gets the opening kill onto that B site. The equalizer, but with guns and smokes, Molotovs, and the like. They're easily able to control this situation over toward B. It's Dupree that'll watch the spiral staircase back toward the B tunnels, make sure no one's going to try and catch them off, pincer them in, and exit kills seem to be the name of the game right now as they set one at T-spawn as well. They can pick up one fast enough. An AK would be lovely to carry over. A flashback, they may, oh, they almost get Dupree down. And Dupree's gonna have to make a decision quickly to go out through CT because they're running low on HP and they're gonna try and get caught from middle. The rotation comes back through the tunnels and AZ's been waiting over at A for this exact moment. They're so close. Bomb's gonna take down Dupree regardless. Surely, Kerrigan 27, does he make it away? Just barely 13 HP as they get towards CT spawn.
Yeah, like I said, it was quite a nice read from Astralis there. AZ makes things interesting with that push-off short, got the one dig towards middle. And Kiyoshima in a prime position, considering they're doing a contact play towards the B tunnels. We always talk about that choke point being super tight and difficult to enter. Had he got one kill there? That's all it took. If he got one kill, that really throws a spanner in the works. He can reposition, stay alive, and wait for the rotation for his teammates there. If he goes down without a kill, it's very difficult for the CTs to actually get into that situation. They'll be smoked down, Molotovs, and like I said, it's pretty much round over that point. We go into the next one, fast, of course, as Alu is boosted up towards short, and he will be looking for those picks towards middle. The Astralis team, though, have got towards long. They've got control of that area. Very valuable real estate on the map. Once you have that, you can leave your AWP player towards the pit area, go for a full-on A split. I think that's what they'll try and do here. You can see Device is towards that. He'll flash in, try and get to the pit here. And once he gets in, that's when you start repositioning yourself as a team. You're leaving him as the anchor. Leaves a lot of pressure towards the CTs on the A side. They have to start focusing towards short, pushing B tunnels. You're waiting for them to react and make a mistake at that point. So this is perfect for Astralis so far.
Device. AWP primed and ready, focusing strictly onto that A platform. Alu, though, big missed shot. Now he's got to fall back. That gives up a little more ground on Catwalk as well, but an away boost catching off one. They get away from it, and Jacob's actually got Kerrigan as well. He was the man boosting, so that's reasonably well done.
Yeah.
In fact, very well done, all things considered, even though Rain goes to 3 HP.
Yeah, Jacob is actually playing that cheeky position behind the car with the flame just to get that one kill. Do you know that thing Kerrigan actually was famous for?
Yep, you're right.
The start of CSGO. It's not as effective as it was, but still chucked in every now and then. It does find a kill. The Device now locked in the pit, and his 5 CTs looking at him as well. This could be very detrimental for FaZe, but the grenade finishes him off. The fact he could have kept peeking there, and this is just crazy this round. This is absolutely nuts. Dupree in a 2 versus 1 now. It's going to be Rain on low HP as well. He'll be towards the ramp area, but the bomber's down towards long. The CTs don't have the FaZe hitters. Wind down the clock and see whether they can actually hold him off and have 2 targets instead of 1. Rain is trying to stay alive at all costs.
Shot from Dupree. Rain's unable to do so.
Wow,
I think he's going to have to. Yeah, bombs. I mean, it was 11 seconds. Even if he gets down long, he's got to kill in order to win the round. And if he goes down after that, if it's controlled, he could lose all his money. I guess that's his thoughts because he gives this round away and he gets an AWP to carry over.
When you know the CT has to face the bomb at some point, you've got the AWP. I would have taken that risk, I think. It's a shot. It's a 50-50, really. Obviously, he has the advantage. Maybe not that close, but there's definitely potential to win that round. He has to face it at some point. And a safe bet, I guess, trying to keep the money as a strong point.
Well, keep the AWP because they could buy this round, but they wouldn't have had an op.
To be fair as well, like they know they've got the FaZe economy low. You can see 2 UMPs here. Them having the AWP is actually a great asset to them going forward. So I guess it's just more of a conservative bet. There definitely was grounds to go for that, but yeah, he didn't want to risk losing the weapon. It was difficult for him, but that's a lovely shot from Device. Blind and through smoke. Times it to perfection. Takes down Jacob and finds the man advantage once again. But Alu replies, this game has been pretty interesting so far. No love lost between these two teams. There's more aggression from Alu. Gets flashed off and does manage to avoid danger there as the terrorists have to retreat.
Flash. Back toward the doors, it's Kierby. Inside B tunnels, meanwhile, that's smoked off. Retreats. Groups with his team. Gets ready elsewhere. 4 versus 4, you think would favor the terrorist side, but it is Dust2. You can split up. A becomes a little more vulnerable. It's more vast space to cover off, but B is always covered with 2 players, so it's still not quite as viable in that situation. It does potentially give up mid, which they can utilize.
Nice play from Kerrigan there. Baiting towards A, blinds the AWP as well, gets himself in CT spawn. He's cleared that area for his team. So now he can go up towards B by the looks of things. They'll be splitting in Zipex with the bomb and tunnels. Down to Kiyoshima. Needs to find at least one here. Does that successfully, but Kiabi's there to trade in return. And Astralis now have got control of the B side. Kills is coming in all over the place, and Rain left in a difficult situation. That was actually a really nice play from Astralis. No smokes available. Had to be a little bit more creative. Getting Kerrigan and spawn and just holding Alu towards that A site. And he couldn't rotate easily. He knew a player would be waiting for him in return. So that was actually very well played from the Danes, and now just Rain saving the AWP.
And that flash was so well placed on A as well, because Alu, not only did he not spot him going down, had no idea he was down there, because you saw how easily he was caught in the rotation.
He couldn't really call numbers as well, because he even flashed off. He has to consider, do I reface here? He doesn't know they've gone CD spawn. There could be a player waiting for him on short to get the refrag as soon as he faces. So it's actually a very effective approach there from Astralis. And you can see Kiyoshima was aware the call was coming in, that it could be a B split, but he had so much going on. Flashes is coming over. He gets one, but as good teammates should do, as soon as your teammate goes down, you're getting the refrag straight away. You get that information, take him down. And the bomb is coming in from B tunnels as well. Completely pincered it. And it's going to be a nice round for Astralis to pick up. That's a full reset for the CTs now. So they've managed to bring an AWP into round number 13, but they can't really afford to buy around this. They could go for the force buy with 5-7s and Deagles and hope Rain could do something with the initial pick at the start, but I feel like going into the next round, they're going to need some cash for number 15. Let's see what they decide to do. As Rain presumably faces towards middle, flashes over, just has to go for it. Flash is successful, but Device completely blows his head off.
Yeah, good pick. Started off.
Well, you know they saved an AWP as well. You're not going for gap shot at all. You're just locking him down, right? You're just going to go, right, it's not even worth the risk of me trying to do some damage just to try and stop any sort of aggression from the CTs at the start.
Dupree is going to be the next challenge. It's Alu who does have the AWP to try and go for the bait and switch from the stairwell, but Alu, he stays alive in this, able to at least get one back for FaZe. But he now resides alone on the A site. Gonna have to call for a rotation back through CT. AZ there as well, but holding with the Eagle. Here's footsteps towards lower. Takes a quick peek. No one top mid. I'm surprised he doesn't actually try and take the gamble of chase, but thinks better of it. Stays alive as a result, but gives up B site in doing so. There's not much he can do to surprise this play. He's just gonna have to rely on direct skill with that AWP. As double Molotov now out on window. Flash over. AZ able to dodge that successfully as they're just waiting, Astralis, for that bomb to get inside the B site. 2 shots fired, no shots landed. Kirby will slip off the boxes and AZ commits to it, caught by Zipix, who's on the platform.
Yeah, at this point, Operation Save the AWP. There's no reason to go for this unwinnable round, and unfortunately for Alu, in no man's land, gets called by Dupree and Kiyoshima now. He's going to try and pick that up, but I don't think they'll allow him to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Dupree just watches this position. They don't need to hunt. They just need to protect their weapons. They spot him up. 2 players peek, and everyone goes down. It's going to be Astralis now picking up 8th round, and FaZe still limited down to 5, so we're starting to get a bit of a stretch here, a bit of a lead for Astralis, but not done by any sense of imagination. This has been so back and forth. It's finally that the economy stabilized more than anything.
Yeah, Astralis now really coming to life. In the last, like, 5, I think it's like the last 8 rounds, they picked up all of them apart from 1, so it will be FaZe now full eco, PT50s, a couple of Deagles, well, 1 Deagle in fact, no grenades, and they'll just be trying to stack towards long for the looks of things, hoping it's another fast play from Astralis, but they'll be in a default here. They know the money has been fully reset for this team. They can't buy into this round. There's no reason to fully commit at the start. Just go for some map control, try and hunt out these stacks and get 1 pick, then wait for the CTs to react, make another mistake, and that's where you should be playing it. When you know they're full eco, there's no real reason to just go into situations blind and hope for the best. It's kills me to watch sometimes. It's one of the things I point out a lot. You just need to be a little bit more disciplined and play together. Make sure if anything does happen, with a flash retake from the CTs, you're ready there with the refrags and using your utility effectively.
And Rain now jumping, doesn't spot anyone, will rotate back over to cover off middle. Was a 4-1 split with only Kiyoshima inside of the B side holding with Deagle. Behind barrels, I would highly imagine at this point in time as well, trying to take advantage of that crosshair placement and the added armor that the barrels do provide, but the rest of the guns, the P250s, all toward the A site. Rain's gonna have to rotate back through that CT spawn as well. So far, Molotovs have not found them on the ramp. They've cleared out the platform itself, though. That'll be encouraging, but a headshot out. May have just caught Kerrigan through the box. I was sure I heard a ding. Regardless, it's Astralis coming up with all of the kills. No one finding anything just yet for FaZe, and that's how it'll end. Jacob can't get anything. 9-5. Again, stretching out that lead. Now 4 rounds, almost doubling up on the total of FaZe, and they may yet do as... Well, okay, they bring guns out, but look what they've picked up in turn on the Astralis side. There's 2 auto snipers in play.
Okay.
And is there 3 or 2? I think it's 2.
I think it's 2 as well, and it'll be an AWP as well. So the idea of this, obviously, if you know 3, okay. Well, this does a ton of damage through the door. They haven't got a kill just yet, but there it is. Headshot. It's going to be Zipex picking it up, takes down Kiyoshima. And we know he's talked about this in overtime and stuff like this. Could be a viable option, but that's a great start to go to that B side as well. It's up to AZ. He was tagged at the start as well. Alu trying to retake it. Hits a successful shot, though. 4 versus 3. He knows he has to do a bit more work. He can't allow him to stay alive, and he does it. What an effective play from him. It was aggressive, it was audacious, but he comes out on top and manages to at least buy something in this round.
Top mid, though, Device. Oh, backpack spotted of Rain. Can't fire at that alone. He's going to look for Jacob instead. Just sees him, watches him, catches him going through the door. The late lurk is going to give them the man advantage. And now they can't comfortably push directly into the B site because they have to consider Device's position. Back over toward it, Alu. Just missing the shot. That's the invitation potentially to start working in toward B, though. Xyp9x goes alone. They do not want to bring the bomb entirely to that position. And Xyp9x, he wins the duel. That's all a distraction. They want to get the bomb back over to A. They know it's clear. Device has that information.
Yeah.
But more importantly, Xyp9x hasn't only kept them there, he gets the kill, Device gets one onto Rain. It starts off with the auto sniper by an Astralis. It's the economy that they took advantage of to get them in this position. 10-5 at half.
That has to be one of the most intense halves of CS we've had for Pro League, I would say, so far. You can see the stars so back and forth, all the force buys coming in, nothing really separating them. It was FaZe that took that early lead. They went up 4-1. Then all of a sudden, Astralis starts applying the pressure, and they look like they're actually very formidable right now. Maybe the boot camp is working out for them. Can they keep it up, though? Can they win this first map? We'll find out. We'll have a quick break. I'm taking it anyway. This is going to get better, I think.
FaZe and Astralis. For about 6-7 rounds, they went back-to-back, toe-to-toe, and the economy finally did stabilize, and when it did, Astralis did pull away. They managed to double up in the end over top of their counterpart in this. It's 10-5, but by no means do I anticipate this action to slow down at all. I expect it'll just continue on.
I absolutely agree. I don't think this is a set match by any set stretch of the imagination. It seems like both teams are turning up today. The thing is, there's been so many close situations in terms of the 1v1s. It's difficult to say. Astralis, yeah, they've got a 10-5 lead, but that could easily gone either way. So many 1v1s, so many 2v1s that FaZe had an opportunity to actually pick up there. But the pistol going to be very influential, I feel like, going into this second half. It is Dust2. Anything can happen. 5 sets of armor, same by FaZe had in the first half as well. So that means you have no kits, you have no smokes at a retake, no flashbangs. Normally means you have to go a little bit more aggressive. Boosting up towards short is the go-to strategy, but seems to be coming out of current meta. It seems like teams are focusing more towards long. That's exactly what Astralis will be doing here. 3 players towards that position, in fact. Seeing as that's quite a heavy commitment, they might want to fall back in that sort of stance, but we'll see what they bring to the table, as it looks like FaZe heading towards short for now. They've got the smoke and flashes as well. They could do the smoke in front of the catwalk and actually just try and force their way up towards short and get that short plan down. It'll be very difficult with the CTs to do anything about that. Okay, well, they've pushed away short. They've actually taken the vision from the CTs. The bombs in actually T-spawn outside Bs for now. So this will be some sort of B split coming in. Smoke and CT spawn flashes go through. And they've got the PT-50 in the hands of Kiyashima to give them a bit more long-range advantage here. But Kiabi, he's ready and gets the first hit on Jacob as well.
And another one as well over top of the smoke from Xyp9x. Astralis seemingly hitting every shot on these pistol rounds. They didn't win the first one. It came back to FaZe on a retake. This time, it's the CTs. Well, again, the CTs, but this time Astralis that pick it up as they walk back in quite quickly and find the final kill on Arraign. Immediately, they go on to rifles as well. Not messing around on Dust2. We know it's a longer map. Again, more vast space specifically on the A site. So the SMGs maybe not quite as viable. What's Zipic's going to do in this? Okay, there's the M4 as well for him.
So there's the force buy from FaZe here. No bomb plant going in, so it's the natural stance to go into round number 2. It's going to be a scout in the hand of Rain. We knew how deadly he was with that in the CT half, but you can see Astralis. They're preparing themselves for this buy. They've actually got 5 rifles themselves. They've got 3 FAMASs, 2 M4s. Doesn't mean they're lacking in terms of the grenades to hold them off, but Jacob, he's kind of AFK in spawn. What's going on here? Has he got a technical issue?
Disconnected, apparently.
All right, so we'd actually probably replay this round, I would imagine.
Would you imagine? Imagine that.
I could imagine that. I could see that being a possibility.
Imagine all the people. Did you know that John Lennon's killer was denied parole for the 9th time?
We had a conversation with this with someone recently. Who was it?
It definitely wasn't me, because I was not part of this conversation.
I can't remember who it was. It was very recent.
36 years in prison.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So they'll restore this round and get back into it. Nothing had happened, so that's fair game. It's all tickety-boo.
That was it. I was speaking to Semler about it. He thought John had drowned.
What? The cultured Semler with his pocket squares and everything.
We had to Google it to make sure. Like,
did you believe him?
No, he didn't believe me. I said, no, he was shot. It was very well documented.
How does someone not know that?
Don't know. It was quickly shut down, though. That's the beauty of Google these days. Are we still playing this?
I'm never going to a trivia night with him.
Well,
unless we're talking about pocket squares. In which case, I'm definitely going to a trivia night with him.
I guess we are playing this round. It is.
No, they're restoring it. They have to.
That looked pretty serious to me. They weren't like messing around there.
As far as what I was whispered in my ear by the producer, we're going to have to restore completely. So they probably just played it out cheekily. But
whenever they win, just go, actually, no, we don't want to.
No, well, it was already called. So from the information that I was fed,
like
it did look somewhat serious, but at the same time, the way that I was fed the information is that they're going to restore the round in its entirety. So.
All right, I'll believe you. Millions of them, but
people are still very upset about the Swedish flag behind FaZe.
Yeah.
I think we should give them a Canadian one.
Yeah, could do that. Or a European one might make more sense.
Yeah, it would make more sense, but I don't care about that.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. They haven't got a single Swede on the team, so, you know.
Might as well give them a Canadian one.
Yeah.
Can we get that done? Production?
We'll look into it. Maybe for next map.
They're asking me what I want. They don't even listen to me.
Don't listen to him.
Matt, if you could please put a Canadian flag behind the FaZe logo, that would be excellent. Thank you. It would be sexcellent.
Maybe Rush could draw them for us on the minimap.
Yeah, do you know how to draw the Canadian flag, Rushley? Is that something you know how to do?
Whites.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'll give them the
Oh, God.
yeah. There we go. Okay, no, that's
almost.
wrong.
That would do.
That's more Danish. Now we have 2 Danish teams.
Lovely stuff.
How-
Nailed it, I would say.
We have one of the most flamboyant flags in the world. Not so much color pattern wise, but like we have a leaf.
You do have a leaf.
We are so tough that we have a leaf. We're full of nature. The reason we have a leaf on the flag is because it's we live in the Arctic, the frozen tundra, and if we didn't put one on the flag, we'd forget what they look like because there's no actual living organisms in Canada. Just ice blocks.
And moose.
And yeah, moose, beavers. He's got it right, actually. He's getting it. Well, he's getting better.
Now, for the final piece, the cherry on top, the leaf in the middle. Well, if you are just joining us, wondering what the hell's going on, we are losing our minds, but at the same time, this is a hell of a game going on right now. It was a 10-5 first half in favor of Astralis. Could have gone either way. It was a real brawl, real fast CS, and just came down to those individual clutches and really intense moments as well. That's from Cologne 2015 against Fnatic and Envious, where the 4 AWPs came out on the T side of Dust2. I just did cast in that game. It was actually really incredible. What a moment, Matthew.
Yeah, it has been a moment. I do enjoy that.
That's in the grand final as well. There you go. A bit of trivia for you there.
Yeah, thank you for that. Tell me more. So what happened again, Henry? Sorry, I missed that.
There was 4 AWPs for the terrorists.
Oh,
so
yeah,
Fnatic.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
they gapped 2 people as they ran across.
Ah, that's right. That's right. So interestingly enough, that graffiti has color. Some of them don't. The simple one has like a red ring around it. It's more like minimalistic in its design. It's kind of actually the new ones. The one with Cold Zero. This is what I was going to say. The point I was going to make is 2 graffitis in the game have Fnatic references, and 2 of them have SK references. Although on one of them they were on the receiving end, obviously with Simple.
He's got the Fnatic.
Or sorry, Liquid references.
the
Sorry,
Fnatic
they were on the
defuse and
receiving.
Everblast.
Yeah, and then you've got this, and then you've got Liquid getting their heads blown off by Cold, and then Simple when he's playing for Liquid dropping in.
Yep.
The ones I was going to say, the Cold Zero ones, the other 3, with the exception of this one, I would say, if anyone's interested in that kind of design style, it reminds me very much of fullbleed.org, an artist, Rob Doobie. He has a very, very simple design.
I think I know who you're talking
Or
about.
a similar design strategy, like, or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, stylistically, it's very similar.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We get little reminders of epic moments in the game.
I think that's
that,
very cool. I actually think that's very cool that Valve took it upon themselves to do that, to sort of pay homage and commemorate it.
Yeah, it kind of immortalizes it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool. Well, I got to think from what I've just heard, the changing server. So this could take a little while yet, but I guess this is our perfect chance, Matt. We've been practicing at this recently. We could probably get into a little bit of discussion, a little bit of podcasty, see what's going on. It's been a lot of
We
news
can do one of
recently.
those now, though.
I know, but we can give people like a sneak insight as to what they're missing out on if they don't already watch it, you know?
It's their loss. What can we talk about this week?
I'm going to bring up the topics of discussion.
Uh-huh.
This is actually one of my favorite things in Dust2. Once you see this, I'm going
It's
to
a
blow
face,
someone's
right?
mind. It's a face.
Yeah.
Can you take... Yeah, exactly. Once you see that, I think there's actually a T-shirt. You'll never unsee it. Every single time you look. And he's even got, I don't know if you want to call it a cigar or his tongue sticking out with the barrel there. It's like... It's pretty lovely.
Right, I've got a good one. So, Natu's here. We had Ents roster changes today.
Easy for Ents.
So, obviously, Alu's left the team and Zart's been removed as well. They're bringing a couple of youngsters. They're bringing some young blood in to
Yeah.
try out and see what they can do and try and bring them back to life. I think they played against Penta tonight, which was actually quite a very close game. 2-1. And didn't win it, but still, it was a team we closely followed at Assembly.
Which was that? Which league was that for?
It was a qualifier.
Qualification stages.
I don't know.
I'm going to bring it up right now. Keep talking, though. Sorry.
But yeah, it was quite interesting. For obviously, we did that documentary on them, and they were kind of on the ascendant at that point. There was a lot of storylines around them, and we were focusing on the Nasu kind of aspect, and Alu being the pivotal part of the team. We answered the question. The big question was, if Alu left the team, we actually asked this in the interview, which is kind of interesting. If Alu left the team, will the team still survive? Will they function going forward? Losing their superstar player, the AWPA, the foundation, some would say, and Natu quite comfortably said yes. I don't think he's the kind of player that does win you tournaments or stuff like that. He's not the one who's going to be the pivotal factor in a team's success. But it would be interesting to see. What are the name of the 2 players? You got it there?
It's right
question
here.
marks.
It's they don't even have pictures yet. Arvid and this one Aleskib. I'm not sure.
Let's skip. All right, well,
Alexib, I think is something along those lines. Obviously,
I'd say
Finnish.
this is like a kind of another foundation sort of team. They're going to have to build upon it and see what they can do with it. And hopefully, kind of, it's going to take a long time to actually grind it out. But it's kind of like the Fnatic project, right? You kind of
Yeah, well,
build
I mean,
upon it
on a
and-
much different
on
scale.
a much different scale,
You've
yeah.
got to start somewhere. I really did think that the Tier 2 landscape would have more of a stepping stone to it, but it's becoming as cluttered as the Tier 1. The problem is that it's less consistent than the Tier 1 in many senses. So if you're a Tier 1 team, yes, you have a cluttered schedule, but you're getting invited to a lot of these tournaments. You're already in the Pro League. You're either involved in the qualifications at the very least for the next major, or you're a legendary team. So you have a clear-cut schedule. Tier 2, it's not as easy to break through as I would have thought with the implementation of the minor system. More Tier 2 tournaments this year. DreamHack's kind of having 4 and then 4 qualification teams. I would have thought that it would have just leveled out by now who was who and what was what. But there's still so much inconsistency in the qualification stages that there's like 10 teams that are all fighting and have a good tournament here, and then we don't see them again for 2 or 3 months. And ENCE has to fight through all of that. And the minors themselves as well are getting cluttered with top teams. I mean, you think of North America, you've Cloud9 going to a minor now. I know that's not ENCE's problem, but just goes to show you how the skill is and the talent pool's expanding.
One of the things I wanted to talk about today, Michael Eddie's back. He's a ninja.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
back on NIP. This is, if I was him, I'd just team flash and troll them the whole time.
So obviously, Disco Doblin, it was kind of announced as saying, oh, you know, it's like we want to give him back to Epsilon. You kind of have to think that maybe it's not as clean cut as that. I feel like they probably wanted him back, and it wouldn't just be a simple kind of favor. Yeah, we'll give him back. I feel like they probably wanted to take him to Star Ladder. I think that was happening. And the fact that Michael Ailey, still he knows the team. He probably can slot in there quite nicely. He can pick up the orb if he has to and that sort of thing. But it's a shame. I think Disco Doppelman's starting to come into his own with that team. Like, it'd be perfect for him as a young player going forward, like learning and going to a big event with these guys and actually having that kind of experience, playing with some of the legendary names and playing on the big stage potentially as well, getting to like a semi-final or quarter-final with them. And that would have been really cool.
I would have loved to have seen it. I very much think Disco Doppelman is an incredible talent. I think Draken on the Epsilon team is as well. Hopefully they can start to form consistency as well and continue to rise up the ladders.
They just lost their in-game lead in Zelos. So where did they go from here? That's why it kind of seemed like that team was starting to fall apart.
Well, that was the first kind of sign, right? Okay, Disco Doppelman's playing with NIP, and during that stint where they said, okay, we're still going to play with him, we're still a team, they lose their in-game leader.
That's the thing as well. I
thought that was the first writing on the wall.
In my head, I was just like, okay, well, Michael Eddy, we know he's building a new team. Is he like taking Zelos and he's going to start building around him and Palf's available? We've got this kind of
that's true. Palf's
as well.
there, yeah.
I thought maybe that kind of makes sense. And now Michael Eddy joined back the NIP now, or standing in. That kind of blows that all out the water. I guess it makes sense. He probably is a free agent by now. His FaZe contract probably has expired. He left in April, right? So that's almost 6 months ago.
As far as I know, I thought I heard from someone that his contract basically got paid out for the final month, and that was it. So it's been 5 months. So I think he was paid out for April and maybe May, and then it was free. He was completely free. As far as I know, I could be wrong on that,
I was
though.
assuming. When I saw it today, I was like, that's insane. I assumed he'd be building his own team and focusing on that project. We tried to catch up with him in Sweden to try and get some info on that, but he wasn't available to talk, and I think I know why now. So probably didn't want to spill these sort of beans.
Interestingly enough, that's actually a really good point, because you guys tried to make a meeting with him, and he said, well, I happened to be in Stockholm this weekend. Now we know why he was there.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yep. So that's obviously part of the negotiation pattern. And you got to wonder as well why Disco's not being carried forward. Is it an Epsilon?
I assume it's something like that. Right?
Yeah, someone stepping in and basically.
Well, I guess like if you're going to start taking some of the lands and stuff like that, then all of a sudden you're taking their talent to an event and using him to win money, essentially, right? And then they're probably saying, well, why should we just give you that for free? You'd have to start paying for this at some point. It's a nice gesture. It's like letting him play in the Pro League and stuff. I guess it's an online league, and maybe he didn't have much going on. His team were inactive, but they're finding a new fifth. But you start taking to lands, I guess that's a different story altogether. And maybe the org stepped in and is like, you know what, you're gonna have to start
paying for it or something. Yeah,
start coughing up. You're gonna start winning big lands with him. And I guess which makes sense. And so it's a business, right? You don't want to give away your talent for free. And maybe they couldn't come to any sort of agreement, but who knows? I have no idea.
Oddly enough, Michael Lele just sent me a smiley face on Facebook, so I think he's listening.
Hello, Michael.
Don't say anything more. The fly is on the wall. Someone get me the fly swatter.
Yeah. Okay.
Either way, I think it's very interesting. And if Epsilon did veto that, this is one of those things that, okay, I do want Epsilon to succeed. It was a temporary thing for Disco. We're going to get back into this. Remember, it is medic, so we'll go back in where we were. I want to see proper treatment of the players, of a new team getting picked up, and we've talked about this on Drop the Bomb. A team that gets picked up and kind of grows and overexpands beyond what their worth was originally, and therefore they get more, I guess, value than what their organization sees them as. So if they did veto that, I better hope it's a fair contract. There's a fair buyout or there's good payment coming through Disco's way, because that's the only thing. Like if he's in a contract being such a new player where he rushed in to sign it and he's being taken advantage of in this situation, that would scare me. And again, I'm not saying that is how it is, but I get a little concerned when I hear about these, disagreements or disputes, if that's what it is. And again, I really do think there has to be more accurate player representation toward orgs for new players, specifically new players like this that are coming in and not really knowing where they are. To be fair, I imagine Epsilon didn't throw up a huge contract that was probably reasonable about it, because they're trying to get back into the space, having lost their team as well. And they've played around with a few rosters, but haven't had consistency since their whole iBuyPower ordeal, their throwing ordeal. So
sure. I
imagine it's kind of fair in that sense. But again, if they continue to grow, it better grow with them.
Yeah, well, I think we covered everything there. I don't want to get too deep. Save some for the show, Matt. Save the gold. Don't dump it too quickly, Yeah, so we are having a technical pause here. It was, I think it was, 12-5 in favor of Astralis. They were on the CT side. They won the pistol. And we'll see we're back into this one. We're just staring at a blank server right now. But this was a technical issue, maybe a ping thing, or someone got DDoS. They couldn't connect to the server again. I have no idea. But hopefully we'll get back into it very quickly. It was a really explosive game. The problem is when you have this really exciting early moment and you have a pause like this, it kind of does kill the hype a little bit because it was such an exciting back and forth affair. Hopefully they can get back into the swing of things. We have got another map after this as well, which I believe is Mirage as well. So it's a map both these teams are very familiar with, and we'll hopefully see some lights out CS going forward. But 12-5 will be the scoreline for now. Astralis looking like they've got I think there was another eco for the terrorists, so maybe that would be I think it was 11-5, and then that round was the 12-5, if I remember. But we're just trying to program the server right now, work it all out.
So it's going to be reset right now. Basically, when you switch servers, you restart an ebot file, but ebot has a cool thing where it exports its previous file and you can drop it into the current config. So that's basically, I imagine, what they're waiting on. It's just the completion of ebot. He likes to be pampered. Who is D4E and Deagle? Is this one of the coaches, or is this an ESL admin?
Yeah, I think it's ESL. I'd assume. I have no idea.
Just trying to keep up to date with everyone in the scene. And remember, they did buy, if it's anything to go off of, they did have a scout bought up in that 5th round, trying to force it out on the terrorist side against Astralis. So we'll see if that's something they go back to. They've got a chance to switch that up. I'm not going to call foul play on that. It's been so long at this point in time anyway. And quite frankly, the round ended immediately, so it's not like there was anything given away by that.
But we did have
potentially to look
a bit
at. of
a blockbuster series in the first couple of games, didn't we? With
I'm impressed with
Fnatic versus
Hellraisers.
Hellraisers getting both maps to overtime. Pretty insane. They actually managed to pick up a map as well in the second. So Fnatic still a lot to learn. Obviously, we talk about them only really having 3 maps in them. I think that's Dust2, Cash, and a little bit of Mirage and Cobble. You can see the city side. I think that a lot of teams can pick that up and play against it. And as long as you've got good individuals who are trading effectively and working the basics, you can pick up rounds. It's a T side is the problem for them. After getting a huge lead in the first half, couldn't bring things back. And they go to overtime, just about clinched it, but Cash did slip away from them. Will be Dust2 here in the first map between FaZe and Astralis. Matt, I think we need to keep going. I can feel it. I can feel it might be a little bit of a long one. Right, I will bring the next bit of news.
Yeah, please. Drop the bomb, Henry.
When is that coming back, by the way?
I think it's an interesting one this week. We've got a very busy schedule. There's stuff happening next week that's going to make things even busier for us. You've got to go back to London. You actually live reasonably close and can do that. I envy you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Thursday night?
Thursday night will be
here,
but we're going to make it work. I think what we're going to do is, it's going to be obvious anyway, so you might as well tell everyone.
Yeah, I think we're going to pre-record.
We're going to pre-record that day. We're going to pre-record it in the afternoon, just before we come here, and then we'll cut it all together, get it all slick. And we've got a documentary, a really cool one coming as well.
Yeah, new feature.
So yeah, we've got a documentary we just filmed in Sweden. I'm not going to ruin it just yet, but that's going to be really cool. Like the production value,
You guys went to Sweden. And I went to the Spa Grand Prix. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Yeah, we got 3 documentaries done there. So Thursday, 8 p.m, I think we'll do it. And I'll be back. Make sure you kind of support us, guys. We desperately need it. Help us. It's going to be good. It's going to be real good.
Help us.
It's going to be real good. I promise.
Well, I've enjoyed making that so far. I think Tom's done an excellent job as well.
Yeah. Well,
This is taking far longer than I would have expected.
The crazy thing of that is we've only done, he pointed out to me today, we've only done like 2 episodes, right? We've done the pilot and 1. It feels like we've been working this for so long now. Like
it's a big process.
It's not even halfway through at the moment. So it's like, it's still plenty of time to nail everything. I think.
In the words of 50 Cent, progress is a steady process.
That's true. Very wise words. Okay, here's another one. Renegades rebrand to Detroit Renegades.
Yeah,
so
and bought up by a Boston Celtics player who's from Detroit originally, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's Swedish, I read.
Oh, he is Swedish. You're right. Yeah, that's right. But he played in the Pistons.
Right, but he's Swedish, so he's bought it out. I guess he's based in America, obviously. That would make sense. And so he's rebranded Los Angeles Renegades to Detroit Renegades. So it's still the same players. I think they picked up a COD team as well. So they've got a different owner, different backing, different ideas. going forward. Same Aussie lineup though in the CSGO scene.
Of the traditional sports, the NBA personnel seem to be the ones supporting esports the most. Drop the bomb. I like it. I like what you did there, Rushley. They seem to be the ones supporting. Obviously, we have Shaq come in. There's been a few other guys in the NBA that have expressed interest. Mark Cuban, who owns a couple different teams, has also gotten involved in gaming. Apparently, he's doing some stuff with VR. That's what I've been hearing, but I don't know if that's. I don't know how much of that's true. I think it's fairly obvious he has. I think he stated that on the record. I don't know if that's esports intended or just gaming in general. But it's interesting that the NBA is the one getting involved in it, and it's a lot of the owners. I think their marketing scheme kind of took a turn for the worse over the last 10 years or so, and they're starting to bounce back, which I think is actually a positive thing in that sense because they understand what they need to do to stay relevant in the modern, I guess, generation and demographics. So very cool. Hopefully they can bring some more to esports. I'd like to see more teams in Europe, potentially from the football and Premiership or whatever, come involved. I know they've gotten involved with FIFA players. Certain teams have brought in FIFA players at this point in time.
They have. That's actually kind of an interesting point of the future, right? They're just concentrating on their own sport for now, but they're going to realize that esports not exactly huge, right? So now they're starting to realize that video games are the future, and maybe we'll see someone like Manchester United, stuff like that, actually start branching into more traditional esports as well.
Well, and I heard rumors that Arsenal was looking, Juventus was looking, Bayern Munich, not necessarily looking to get into CS, but looking at the possibility of esports in general beyond FIFA. And when I say looking, I very much mean the vanilla phases, so don't read too much into that. But it would be very interesting, and because then we get backing and people who understand it. Look, I don't care what your opinion is on whether esports is a sport, but it is entertainment in a similar fashion to what sports are in the sense of marketability, sponsorship, endorsements, player agreements, etc. So bringing in that level of experience is actually going to strengthen and really clean up a lot of the issues that we have. I know that there are a lot of issues that a lot of them look at and see just this cluttered mess of tournaments and teams and organizations and don't understand, as a franchise organizer or owner in a regular sport, you own the team name and the players and you are sort of an agreement in esports. So it's interesting, but I'm all for it, and I really do hope it continues to
flourish,
to go that way and flourish. Yeah, I'd like to see more sports come in, more diversity in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely an interesting time going forward. Obviously, that's everyone's slicing the pie right now, and want to get the hand on the action. I have no idea. It's gonna be a really interesting year for esports. It's kind of nuts how it's exploded. This in the last 2 years, especially, and I'm sure it's going to be a very bright future for us going forward. But I think I just got the message in my ear. I think we've got, was that 1 minute? Maybe not. I heard one. Maybe not 1 hour. Maybe it's 1 minute.
I heard 1 minute, so it should, yeah.
Right.
That's probably GoTV just kicking itself back up and registering in the data again.
Right then. Right, Matt. Do we think that FaZe can bounce back from this after losing the pistol?
They've definitely. The problem is, in skill right now, I think this game has been 50-50. I think each team is firing extremely well. They've both shown skill throughout, but it's the economy that's really haunted FaZe. As soon as they lost it in the first half, they fell behind, and they've already gotten behind by losing the pistol in this second one. So they're going to have to basically be very efficient in these next 2 or 3 rounds. I'd say the next 2 after this one that we're going to reset, because again, they don't have guns when we go into this reset. They're still after essentially the 3-round spread of losing early on, and no bomb plants for them either.
It's true. And losing the pistol certainly is going to be pretty devastating going forward. But, it's T-side, Dust2, anything really can happen. And will happen, as we've seen. This is a long minute, I have to say, but I'm believing. It's going to kick in any second. You can see Robban there, obviously affected by the coaching kind of situation recently with Val. We discussed this heavily last week. It's going to be him. He was brought into the team to bring them some structure and actually give them an in-game leader who was before in the hands of Rain, and you could see it was affecting his play heavily. He wasn't the same player we were expecting of him, and Robban was brought in, and it'll be interesting to see how he actually pick up calling again. I guess it will be Rain once more, but
I think it's going to have to be, yeah.
I'm not sure who else is capable of that. You've obviously got Alu, doesn't really seem the calling type. Kiyashima, probably same sentiment. Jacob, I'm not too sure. Maybe he could. He seems like a confident guy. I've never known him to be an in-game leader, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see. ESL 1 New York is going to be the first time we see that rule set in place at Atlanta. I'm curious to see how it actually plays out.
What was great for, I have to say, Carrigan in this scenario, he was kind of one of the players rumoured to be potentially leaving Astralis at one point, but then this comes in and his value goes up tenfold, right? Considering they need an in-game leader who's in the game and actually can control the team and actually realize, okay, well, I actually need this guy to stay.
Well, interestingly enough, Zeus also just left Navi, although, look, I think there was some other issues with him leading that team anyway. I think he was quite frustrated and vice versa in that situation. But you look at the Fnatic swap. Pronax, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the chess pieces. I'm just going to continue to play the game, and Fnatic is clueless in this one. I'm not going to say they are, but on paper, at least, that's how it appears.
I think, like, okay, I don't want to spill the beans too much what we did in Sweden, but those guys, we did catch up with them, and they seem quietly confident. They're not going in saying, oh, we've got it all worked out, you know. But they're saying that they're confident with the structure they have right now and the foundations they have going forward. I feel like I would say, objectively, they definitely came out worse than Godsend have, but they're confident in the skills that they have. They have got the experience there, and players like Wenton know it's going to be a difficult challenge to rise to the occasion of being an in-game leader, but I'm sure that he's got the full backing of his team to actually try and make that happen.
Yeah, and like I say, and apparently live for real in 1 minute this time. So last time was for pretend.
Yeah.
I think that, like I say, it was on paper, I would say that I agree the Pronax and Godsend came out better, but I think you're kind of right. I think Fnatic's onto something. They've got a dynamic duo. They've got Twist on the AWP, finally into a situation and perhaps where he can flourish a little bit on a top team finally as well. We know he's kind of avoided those for friendships, but he is kind of friends with Dennis and Olaf from LGB days as well. So I think that they can develop quite quickly. And as I mentioned on the desk earlier, one of the players that I kind of focus on in that aspect is Lekro. I think he can really be the sort of the hidden gem or the diamond among the rough, whatever you want to call it, in that trade. And you kind of like, if you look at sports, you always look at, you know, trades that happen. You look at Joe Thornton going to San Jose in the NHL. I know this is very loose for some people as we get back into this, but you look at who solidifies that. So it was a 3-for-1. Scott Thornton and Brad Stewart and somebody else were involved in it. I can't remember, Marco Sturm maybe. And Brad Stewart for me was like, everyone was like, oh, that's such a one-sided deal. But Brad Stewart was like a very cornerstone defenseman that helped solidify what they needed. And I think Lekro brings something of what they need to Fnatic in a young player that can kind of develop into a loose role and more of an entry role as well.
We're back. We're going into it. Are we, though? It says 0-0. I'm going to be fine with it. I'm just going to say it's...
It may do the EBOT update where post-round that actually fixes the score. So I think this is definitely live with the smokes out.
Well, it's a slightly different buy from Astralis. They had 5 rifles before. Then they got a little P90 chucked in there. It's going to be Carrigan wielding that weapon for now. But it's going to be the same buy for FaZe. They have force brought into this. Alu not going to be getting the armor. Of course, it's the AWP to be down to Rain, who had an incredible scout performance on the CT side, looking to get that first pick as he edges up towards short. No one actually going to be waiting for him. It's a much more defensive setup here from the CT's device. He's got the M4. This is the off angle towards Carl, looking to get one kill before his teammates can back him up. Zipex in CT as well, but Rain gets an opportunity to find that first shot there.
Rain's going to shuffle over as well, tries to find the shot on the ramp. Can't do it with the scout. It'll allow AZ to get forward instead as he's got the Tech 9 to try and do the damage. And damage he'll do. Device down to 6 HP. Tries to go for the repeat behind the box. He's got to sit complacently, wait for his teammates to rotate. If he goes down early enough, it's an M4 grabbed and a man advantage in the post plant for FaZe. They've got that man advantage regardless. They may not have grabbed the M4, but they found the 2 rotating players in Dupree and Kerrigan. And Device was 6. Has to try and clutch this back. Can't do it. So FaZe will pick up a round. You asked if they could get back into this, if they could get momentum. That's one way. They just steal it directly away from Astralis.
Yeah, Astralis, very defensive setup there. It was actually giving opportunity for FaZe to get up towards short, and they started hitting those shots with the Tech 9s and Device. He could have been the last boss there, but unfortunately for him, he gets taken down to 5 HP. Has to wait for rotations, gets 1 kill, but it wasn't enough. He had to keep hiding. He had to be so passive, trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Doesn't work out, and you're absolutely right. FaZe get right back into this game. It will be 5 deagles, though, for Astralis in round number 2, I don't think, but it doesn't matter either way. It's going to be Alu picking up the first kill for the Terrorists. Zipex does find a deagle headshot in return as well, so still a 4-on-4, but no weapons obtained for the Danes just yet. As it will be a defensive setup for FaZe. I guess at that point, they just had one player of a decent spawn towards long one to go work out whether there was any attention toward that area, maybe a stack coming in. The 1-for-1, obviously, with the firepower as well. FaZe in a great position going forward. Really focusing towards middle. Zipex spots him, but can't land the shot.
Alu and Keo working together to take over Catwalk, and I mentioned them. There's 2 other names you could throw into that. Rain and AZ on that party as well. Device Deagle this time, trying to hold from the same position he did, or rather failed to do so with the M4 from. He's going to try and catch them off at quad. He's already missed the opportunity to catch them as soon as they walked out. Flashes prevented him from doing so, and Rain's got the kill onto him just through the edge of the little lip on the platform. And another bomb plant goes in place for FaZe. It's going to be Dupree and Zipex. They'll sit back with the Deagles and just try and find some exits, potentially pick up whatever rifles they can get. AK or M4 are the options available to them, but it's going to be another round for FaZe. We mentioned skill as well. It's been on par, I think, or equal to that of Astralis, despite the money not being so. So this could equalize this half. I think they could really dig themselves back out of this hole yet. There's still a long ways to go for Astralis on the CT side.
Absolutely. And they're going to be fully next round for sure. And FaZe keeping 4 players alive, starting to swell their bank accounts as well. Bomb goes down. Simple round for them going forward. Everyone going to be staying alive as they fall back towards the long pit. CT save a couple of deagles, but there's no real reason for the FaZe to even actually start hunting there. It's not really justified. If they lose a rifle, that's a reinvestment they need. It's going to cost them upwards of $4,000. And just keeping their rifles a lot more valuable. Astralis can't do much for 2 deagles. The rest of their players will be on PT-50s or maybe even default pistols as well. Be interesting to see, Matt. This is what I want to see on the Astralis CT side. We know they're at a boot camp right now. We know they're adjusting everything. They're probably addressing the roles again, which seems to be the story of every single event they go to. But I want to see who's walking on the CT side. You kind of speculated that sometimes it's maybe Karrigan, and that could be the case going forward. I kind of think that Device probably has been thrown back onto that role.
To be fair, I mentioned Karrigan can do it and has done it in the past. Traditionally, when it was the 3-chord op, but I do kind of sounds weird to say 3-chord. Kirby tries to sneak up and catch them off, can't land the shots, and against the armor, the USP is not really effective. Doesn't hit a headshot either, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. Does get him down to 36, but Karrigan and KGB were the CT-sided oppers. They'd pick depending on map and positioning, spawn point, etc. on CT side, and Device was T side. So you are right. Device is primarily the T-sided op for them.
5-on-3 FaZe, not giving anything away. Definitely one of the teams that can be known to make questionable decisions when they have got huge advantages. I think they're trying to sort that out as they go forward. Robin probably pretty frustrated in some of the games he's watched. They've actually had a great Pro League season so far, but definitely some very scary rounds and opportune moments where they've thrown away big advantages. But we'll see whether they can keep 5 alive here. It's going to be the retake from Astralis with 2 upgraded pistols in the form of the Deagle and the PT-50 Device, just that USP. So I'm assuming that FaZe will keep 5 alive, just spontaneously using flashbangs, just making sure they hold the CTs at bay for now. At this point, Astralis probably run in towards the end of the bomb, try and take someone down with them. That's pretty much all they can hope for here. Just try and bait into someone going down with the explosion, but Karrigan, here he comes. Against wall race, and the players will be surviving as well. So very clean round there for FaZe, and we can see the money starting to come in for Astralis now. Device picks up the AWP, so it looks like he will be taking that full-time role. And for anyone who doesn't follow all these storylines, that's kind of interesting just because it changes so many different events and different times. And it was Karrigan doing it for a couple of events, actually, maybe 2 or 3. The Device is back by this looks like.
End of the TSM days as well, when they swapped over to Astralis, they did try and run Device as the primary opper, full-time, every map, every position. And it wasn't really effective. They started to fade away from it. One of the maps that we get the first indication of that was this exact one, where KGB was so effective toward the car. Device could never really find his comfort level in that position. So it'll be interesting to see if, now that he's forced more into that role, they go toward it, or they try and shuffle it up and get it toward mid a little more dynamic.
A counterpit, that was a similar storyline, but regardless, that's irrelevant right now. It's going to be Device with his first test here. Misses the first shot, getting a lot of pressure as well. It's a fast tactic from FaZe to kick things off in the first gun round. Devices can't hit anything just yet. So much pressure, has to fall back. Karrigan backing him up, and Zipex as well. They're doing great work here, 5-on-3. As the retake's looking very successful for the Danes. Just Alu, who's holding towards the bomb here. It is a short plant, can possibly do something with this, but it's just too many CTs coming towards him.
And very efficient play from Astralis. 2 players left. One of them's Alu. He's locked at quad. He'll do well to get himself out of here with the gun. He's obviously not going to pick up the round at this point. They would have had to have a miracle crossfire double kill setup to do so, but they'll get the defuse, and they'll lose the AK in the process with everyone there so quickly from Astralis. And yeah, I mean, just back to that point, I'd be curious to see if Device doesn't try and just take matters into his own hands and get a little bit more dynamic in that sense, or if they just try and run that same, obviously that round we saw him on the ramp, they did try and do the same thing, so.
Yeah, well, that was the first round from FaZe. The first gun round on the terrorist side, you can afford to be a little bit looser. You know the CTs have to force buy in the second. They're not necessarily going to have the incendiaries to hold you off, the amount of flashbangs they need to have an efficient round. They won't have a double AWP at least. So it's an interesting setup. And this could be at the face from Device here. You said he could get aggressive here, but it'd just be kind of looking towards the top of middle, seeing if anyone will run into his crosshair. Kiyoshima is sniffing out towards B as well. Doesn't find anything just yet. This is the full passive default from FaZe. Don't want to be committing too much here. Kiyoshima will be holding that area, and actually, Ali, there it is. He wins your battle. So a couple of missed shots from Device in the first round, and now he gets taken down and by Ali to kick things off in the second gun round. So that will affect his confidence going forward. We'll see whether his teammates can pick it up for him. 12-8. Astralis do have the lead here, but in this round, FaZe definitely got the huge advantage.
Karrigan just using whatever slight bit of vision inside of those mid doors he can, while trying to stay safe and not overcommitting to it. So CT side bias looks through toward the tunnels, doesn't spot anyone in a timely fashion, and elects to rotate back over toward the A side and support Xyp9x instead, but in doing so, he's going to arrive and be alone again. A nice shot from Kiyoshima as well, as Rain and Kyo each find headshots from the AK-47s. Down long they'll go. Smoke out towards CT, flash to follow it up, and anyone peeking, temporarily blind to allow the cross of the bomb in the hands of Kiyoshima. Plant for long. They've already established that presence with an AWP. Although Alu, I will say, is toward Catwalk, to be fair, with that AWP. So either way, they've got the map controlled, they're covered off. And Astralis, as you mentioned, they bought one. They've got to sit back and hold these guns for the next because they're about to be reset. Absolutely.
It's a big round for FaZe to pick up. This is the default, waiting for someone to face at the start of the round. It was Device. He got taken down by Alu holding top of mid there. And there's going to be 5 players staying alive for FaZe as well. This is difficult times for Astralis going forward. This is to be dangerous territory for them, especially if they die like that as well. This is going to be in a double. Actually, it's not too bad. The money was actually a pretty successful round, I guess. It was 5 players staying alive in that round they won before. So it's not a double eco. I'd say they don't need to force this round for sure. They can just actually take the partial buy going forward. It's not as detrimental as it could have been with that full reset. But PT50s this round, at least 1 eco for Astralis, and FaZe will be getting the double figures if all goes to plan. They've actually been very disciplined. It seems like FaZe are starting to learn every time you see them, getting better and better at these just fundamentals of the game and things that guarantee rounds instead of taking risks.
Jacob and Keo this time will set cross inside of the tunnels. Xyp9x, slight smoke forward, will give him a spot to try and spot middle, to peek middle rather. But AZ takes his head off in reverse. Device on top of the box, jumps across, fire positioning, no boost to get there. Not sure he made it though. He's tried again a second time and not been successful then either. So out toward mid, it'll play off each other, and Kerrigan, or rather, excuse me, Kirby going down. That's going to catch me off for a while further yet, but he's left alone. And I'm afraid this round's writing on the wall. Bomb down. Device may chase down AZ. He's low on HP, but he presumes them to be closer on his heels inside of middle. Will go back and try and catch one off there instead, and is unsuccessful in his efforts. They'll leave all 5 left alive on the FaZe side. So again, they'll build up the money. 10K for Rain, but guns will come back up this time for Astralis.
They will indeed. Dupree, though, I'm sure he's been dropped a weapon. Once he got there, it is. It's on the floor. It's got M4 waiting for him. It's a reasonable buy for Astralis going forward. Device on the AWP once again to have any real impact here on the second half. But this time we'll be focusing towards long, hoping he can get that first long spawn potential from FaZe lockdown. They're actually just going towards middle. Actually, all 5 players as well, sticking as a unit and potentially going to go hunting for information towards middle. But it looks like they'll be doing their default out towards short. It's actually quite a fast play for them. No map presence at the start of the round, and Xyp9x waiting for them as well. Takes the first shot, but he has to fall back. It's a good HE grenade. That'll do a lot of damage. Not inflicting specific damage, but across the board, that actually enables the M4s to have 1-shot potential, so that's actually pretty important. As we do see now, Xyp9x once again just trying to find one, take a shot, fall back, and then comes a smoke play from Astralis. This could be a fake though. From FaZe, sorry.
Device, momentary flash, not caught the full duration. He's still here, he's still alive. Xyp9x 1-for-1, that's decent in that position considering he's limited to the boxes, and it enables Device to follow up onto Jacob. Molotov to go down toward the ramp, covers off the rotation, but Dupree catching the late lurk on Rain. It's going to be a bomb plant, but only 2 to hold off the 4 of Astralis. And Alu, he may get 1, he does. Kirby's head taken off an Xbox. Gives them a chance. This catwalk secured a little bit longer.
Wow.
And Kiyoshima with the shot on Kerrigan. It's now a 2 versus 2, and the advantage is firmly in the hands of FaZe. Kiyo's got the shot on Device. Dupree may have won the battle versus Alu, but he's not won the war because Kiyoshima, he'll sit there like a god and hold off the site. It's down to a 1-round difference.
Those 1-taps and Kyo, that was absolutely sick. Holds on to the round for FaZe and just completely lights them up as they come back to the A side. There's 2 shots all it took, and you have to say Alu, pretty godlike shot from him as well towards short. That's an incredibly hard angle to take. Even with an AK, you struggle to hit the CTs jumping up on that one, and he just nails it with the AWP as well. And Astralis, another eco here. FaZe closing the gap, 12-11 now. It will be another eco for Astralis. Fast play from Alu as he goes towards long, using the Mac 10 at range. Takes down Carrick, and Kiyoshima backing him up as well. This should be round over as Alu finds his second. 5-on-2 now. Dupree and Kiabi waiting towards CT spawn. Going to be absolutely lit up here as it's the final player to get Kiabi. Does find 1 kill with the PT50, but that's about it. 12-12. We're asking ourselves at the end of the first half, would it continue to be the impressive game it was in the first? And the answer is yes, it certainly is. Round number 9 still anyone's game here, and Astralis will be buying into this round, but they haven't got the AWP in the hands of Device this time. 5 rifles. They have got the utility to work with, not as much as I'd like. No incendiaries can be a bit of a problem on the retakes, but they have the kits. But Alu through the door. Was that actually a full-on gap shot? There wasn't...
Just straight up.
There wasn't
No
even
wall,
through. No
nothing.
wall bang, nothing. That was... can be done. It takes insane reactions and a bit of luck, and Ali managed to get that first kill. Contact play towards B. Kiabi, what are you made of? As they do start to come towards the side.
Well, if he's made of anything, it's got to be heroism because it's down already. Kierby and Zipix tries to get Rain, does successfully catch him before he can get in behind the cover of the box on the platform. But look at AZ, late lurk out middle, no one dropping down from CT, and that's a gift. Thank you very much, Zipix.
Have to save now, boys. As Carrigan and Device have no footing into this round whatsoever. They have to hold back and want to see one towards long doors, one on the A site, and just comes down to a simple play. That's the mid-round call. As soon as you get that first pick, you know the CTs are weak on money anyway. They were forced, they'd lost bonus, they kind of forced stuff around before, so get towards, as soon as Ali gets that pick for the doors, let's just walk in. They're not going to have the rope to hold us off, that's for sure. If we get that kill, even if we trade 1 for 1, he spotted how many crossed, that's round over. He doesn't even get one. And AZ with a late flank, as you said, coming out towards the mid doors, it secures the round. Zipek's the only one to find a kill here, and Device and Carrigan holding on for dear life here. They know how important this round is, but just to save weapons, there will be a maximum loss bonus next round, so if we can save 2, there's potential to buy, but now it's just going to be Carrigan as AZ rips the head off Device. Carrigan will be living to see another day, but there it is. The max loss bonus has been attained now, $3,400. And FaZe getting in touching distance here after taking the first round. Here's the shot. Let's see how it went down. Okay, so it wasn't really a gap shot.
It was luck. You said it. It takes a little bit of luck. Well, that's luck there.
It's certainly possible to do it through the gap. We've seen Guardian do that many times, but if you can't even see him, that's just him. That's luck, right?
Yeah.
Just a bit of like a good timing, knowing the timings of the game, right? But still, it's not really a skill thing.
So, as we mentioned, Astralis and FaZe have been a heads-up brawl, I would say, dead level in terms of skill so far in this game. Maybe Kiyoshima going a little bit beyond that in that 1 versus 3, or I guess 2 versus 4, if you will, with Ali being kind of loosely involved in it. The thing now is that the economy was what got them behind. It's now boot on the other foot. Astralis, down by a round, has had nothing going for them on the CT side, as Rushley points out. A single round win and an instant reset. They've built up that money bonus. They face the same problem. If they pick up a 13th round and then lose it right after, it's game over. It's done. At that point, they pretty much have to win 2 or 3 in a row to make a contest out of this at this point.
Well, they will be going for a partial buy here. It's round number 10. FaZe looking to get number 14 on the board. They know they're up against Nico here. I think they could probably 1 M4 save $3,400 on the CT side. It's not going to happen. He'd be throwing the game away at that point. It's not like FaZe are getting to match point next round. It'd be crazy for the force bet to come in. It's a bit of a partial buy, so there's some upgraded pistols. Carrigan with that M4A4. Let's see what he can do here. We're going towards long at the start. He's got some smokes and there's damage through the doors once again. Debris. He's the one feeling the brunt of it this time. He goes down to 32.
I don't think he's on body levels yet, but it's getting there.
No, not quite. That was a rough day in the office. Full body, I have to say.
All sorts of noises. Kerrigan covering off behind the doorway. Zipix almost gets caught out this time by Ali dropping down the stairwell as he tries to get himself in an aggressive position on catwalk to catch them off. I really want to see a cat boost meta come back and play with an aggressive double cat. It's been a long time since we've seen that.
Well, it's up to Carrigan. If Astralis can find anything in this round, he's a player that has to do it. The only one with a rifle here. And once again, FaZe getting that short control. They seem very deadly when they get to these positions.
He's got the flash as well. I was looking to see if Zipix has one because he's the man behind Kerrigan's position. He could have potentially tried to flash him through the doorway, but he doesn't. So Kerrigan has to do it himself, whatever he chooses to do with that flash, and all he's going to do is try and delay them slightly. So now they see one flash go toward them. It's a bit of utility. Do they have more? That's the question. FaZe won't know that yet, so in turn, they'll try and clear things out and make it as safe as possible on the way in. As well, they've got to find this M4. Discover that it's on the map. He's spotted, though, and I'm pretty sure the animation would give away the fact that he's holding some form of rifle at this point in time.
Okay.
It won't even matter, will it?
Kishima just through the smoke. I guess you can see the gap towards crosshair there. You do stand at the right angle there. But it will be a complete bloodbath here towards the B site as Device, he'll be the last player remaining. Murder Deagle probably trying to pick up that rifle from Carrigan if he possibly can. I don't think the terrorists are going to allow at this stage. But let's see if he can sneak all the way towards the A site and let's press E on it. They'll see it picked up though. I'm just going to check where that is. Yeah, it's in vision. But the terrorists are actually watching it for now. So maybe he can get away with picking it up, as he does sheepishly pick it up. There it is. So he has managed to get something out of this round. If he does manage to drop that to a teammate, that certainly boosts their chances going to the next round. And he'll be able to get an option where he has been spotted at this point. So Astralis will not be taking that gun to the next round. That's almost certain at this point. But Device does find a headshot towards Rain. Still going to have players coming towards him from all different angles. There it is. Azy gets the headshots. And we get a 14th round achieved by FaZe here. All in now for Astralis. They haven't run the double AWP setup at all on the CT side. It's all been that Device, and he's been pretty quiet here in the second half, I have to say. Just a couple of kills here and there, and we've actually...
I mean, to be fair, hasn't had the money to bring it out very often.
Well, he has. He did in the first gun round, missed those first two shots. It was Zipex that found the kills, and he got bailed out.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, you're right. And yeah, that was the best round they've had.
Yeah.
A nade through. Kiyoshima won't get close enough to take damage, and takes that as a cue to move away as well, as Zipex will cover off the gap at mid. Anyone crossing toward tunnels and vice versa back toward the catwalk. Jacob, he may do the latter. Flash over will certainly discourage Zipex from trying to stay in that same position. Again, he's the one swinging on Dust2. In my opinion, he has the most important position for Astralis. He always has. Even when Cajun was here, we talked about how impressive and impetuous that setup was with him on the CT side at op. A lot of that had to do with the support play that Zipex provides from that position inside of CT. Reads it very well. This time he's gone more passive over toward A, though. Slowly creeping back in CT. And as he does FaZe, that's where they want to go. Smoke's already dissipated. They'll redress that. Second one comes out. Zipex. Oh, that's thrown very, very far with that bounce, but there's no gap. Not enough of it. He's going through anyway. He's taking advantage, and there it is. Zipex reads it as always. He's gotten two. Kierby finds one. Can he double up inside of the site? Well, he's got it, but it's Dupree that finds the third. Denies the hat trick. Doesn't matter. They just want the round 13 to 14. But as mentioned, it's the reset potential. So good, efficient round. We'll give them a bit to work off of, but they need to double it up here and add another one to the board right away.
Yeah, the money's not in a horrible situation, but you're right. It will be horrible. Oh, it'll be pretty difficult to come back in the second if they were to lose this one. It'll be FaZe on match points as well. A lot of pressure and so much money available for FaZe going forward as well. Even after the rebuys, after 5 players dropping, they've still got 11k on 2 players. So another default here. Looks like they're actually focusing towards long this time. Was the B split where Zipex stepped up tremendously in the previous round. The flashbang will come in towards the long doors now. There is one player waiting for them. That's going to be Carrigan, though. No backup from his teammates. He has to delay them as long as possible here. If he gets one, that's probably a good situation. He's trying to stay alive as he drops the smoke as well. He's actually done a very good job here as Zipex finally arrives and bails him out, but he goes down to the hands of Rain.
He does indeed. Carrigan will fall. Tries to peek in late and catch them off at long. But they were waiting for him to walk back out of that pit. Kierby, that is a big missed spray. Flash was almost perfect and almost too easy for him to spray them down. He misses it. Allo getting man advantage for FaZe. And again, it's got to be done from Astralis. Device, he's relocated himself on top of the platform. But look at Dupree's timing. Shots fired. He'll give it away to Keo. Hear it or not? That's the better question because they may have found the kill on the site. Now they turn back. He's able to still pick up one on Jacob. And it's a close proximity play to find Kiyoshima. He's just gotten around the corner towards CT with Bomb. And Dupree has to be weary of that. He has to be fully attentive of the fact that Bomb's not spotted, it hasn't shown itself, and he's going to rotate away, but in doing so, he gives Kiyoshima the plant.
So, Keo was trying to... Oh, God, Dupree brings his B. So he's not 100% sure. The timing, I thought, was obvious that he was just still towards A. He couldn't have got to B in that time, I don't think. But Dupree, he's almost certain of it still.
This is
there it is.
So problematic.
Yeah, but now he has no idea what kind of plant it is. He has no information as to where Keo is. It's a platform plant. That's exactly where he is as well. Dupree has no grenades and so much to actually check out here and work out what's going on. He can see what kind of plans. He jumps up here. There's just no chance at all. That's really smart play from Keo there. The fact he was kind of hoping that Dupree was going for the smart play there and edging up towards long, but he actually rotated back round, and very intelligent stuff from Kiyoshima, I have to say. And like he said, that was the reset, but there's still money available. It's not the best buy, that's for sure. Device, though, he has an AWP. But Kiyoshima, look, he's got that long spawn gifted to him, and he's actually got an AWP himself. There's 3 AWPs coming out for the terrorists here. Keo to open things up towards long potentially, as it will be Carrigan crossing in second now. Doesn't run the shot, but
Device is going aggressive on catwalk as well. Jacob, he may show. Device needs to keep his head down in this. Crouches, Jacob won't spot him. The invitation's passed for Astralis to find the opening pick. To take the early advantage. Smoke out, now he'll take the initiative on this to try and find a better angle. Alu getting closer to the corner. He'll go down. Bomb drop temporarily as well. Device, he knows they've got to go toward it, so does he try and take advantage and catch someone off on the second peak? AZ's already crossed, though, with those 2 flashes. Bomb picked up. He doesn't see it on radar. Continues looking and spots AZ. 2 kills now. Great job with an aggressive AWP.
That's enough now for Device. He's done the work. He's got the 5-on-3. He wanted to go for more. You could see it in his playstyle. He actually wanted to go and find that 3rd frag, but he doesn't really need to. It's too much of a high-risk move at this stage. 1 round separates FaZe from this first map victory. It will be the B play coming in from them in Simon. Kiyoshima, he has been in great form so far, but not good enough as Dupree takes him down. 5-on-2, surely going to be around for Astralis here. There's so much money available for FaZe, they might as well try and take some frags down with them. Not going to be the case here. Another clean sweep for Astralis, and we could be seeing the 3rd overtime of the night here, Matt. Could be happening.
It could very well be happening. Great round from Astralis. I have to go back just, I want to question you a little bit while we've got a second. Lack of confidence from Dupree, perhaps? He's got 40 HP and he fades away from the one-on-one in a fashion that even if he pushes long, he knows for sure he's not an A he's going to be, or he takes the fight.
It's such a, he said it's such a disadvantage there. There's so many options for Kiyoshima, like you said. It was 50-50 play really when in that kind of scenario. It's either he goes towards B or he sticks it at A. And the fact that Kiyoshima has to face it towards long, he has no information what Dupree's doing as well. He took a risk actually walking out towards long A at that point. So it's difficult for him to kind of read that situation. Dupree's using his best judgment, thinking, okay, if he knows I'm here, he's surely not going to face and go towards A. He'll run towards B. He knows I'm in this position. And it could have gone either way. It depends on the player and who you're up against. But Kiyoshima, like I said, he actually took the risk and played it very well indeed. But round number 15 has arrived. FaZe need this one to pick it up, and Astralis needed to take us to overtime. Single orb set up once again. It's going to be Device, who has been hitting some shots in the last few rounds, finally arriving here on Dust2, playing that infamous car position, now looking towards the long Dust2 doors.
Keep in mind, FaZe at 7-3. We mentioned the good start that they've had to this season. A win over Astralis, who's been struggling to pick them up. It's massive, because it's one of the top teams that would have been in contention on anyone's radar for LAN, anyone's predictions table. So it's almost a double victory in that sense, just picking up 1 map off them and stealing it away. But it's not done just yet. Not only that, Kerrigan, good awareness, pushing through long. He's going to catch them off. And it means Device can just focus on this catwalk position. He's gone down, but he's picked up 2 kills in the process. Alu's pulled it back. Great shot on it. Zipix, and suddenly the bomb in his hand. 1 versus 3. He's going to have to ace this out, though, to win it. 15 seconds when the bomb does go down. They know it's on to A, and they'll start to form a plan on trying to take it back from him, this position. As he smokes out a catwalk, though, it'll buy him some space, flash through, and he's caught immediately. Kerrigan's the one to get the kill, and it's overtime again. 3 straight overtime games tonight.
Absolutely it is. What a night CS has been, and we're going to be gifted another one. So, Alu definitely had the chance to win that round. Got himself a position to actually smoke out towards Choi. Obviously has no idea they're coming from long and CT spawn, so he's trying to look every single angle. Hopefully one of them walks into his crosshair at that point. Does not happen. And I had a feeling he was going to do it, but it's Kerrigan who finally finds a shot with that 1 flashbang. Takes him out the round for a second. It will be 15-15, so it was a struggle for Astralis, but they brought it out towards the end there and managed to get some rounds. It was Device and Zipex especially as well. He's stepping up on those mid-splits, pushing through smokes and backing up his teammates as well when they desperately needed it. Kiabi seemed missing in certain points of the map. Huge misses and influential rounds as well. Device pretty cold at the AWP, but towards the end he was stepping up. So here we go then.
So MR3 10K, for anyone who doesn't know the overtime format, well, you probably should by now if you've been watching it all this evening. 3 rounds, swap it over, 10K to start, chance to potentially, specifically on the CT side, have to force out and dire straits on the 3rd round if you lose the first 2.
Basically, first to 19, right? So
that's the magic number, or 18-18, we do it again.
That's true as well. Device aggressive, of course, towards short. Look at his first pick, and it looks like he'll probably get it as well. As he spots Rain, there it is, nice stuff as he falls back. AZ gets the headshot in return.
This is what I want to see more of from teams, because everyone's gone so passive with this car setup that just doing that 1 or 2 rounds, you start to get in the head of the terrorists. They have to use utility just to get to catwalk, which means they've got less to take the A site. Device finding AZ, Kirby onto Jacob. Everything going to plan so far for Astralis. Alu can't find the shot towards the platform, but it does open up a window of opportunity for Kiyoshima, but blinded up. It's going away. He does spot the gun barrel late. Device can't echolocate exactly where he's gone, and how is this turned? How, in God's name, has FaZe pulled this back on that alone? Alu's able to distract, and Kiyoshima somehow slips through. Astralis get confused. And they trip over themselves. It's gonna have to be a clutch from dupreeh. Takes damage, starting this off down to 46. AWP and Alu with the peak. Guess what? It's 16 for FaZe, and that, by all accounts, should have been Astralis' round.
Absolutely unbelievable stuff from FaZe. They're working together, just grinding the kills, and Ali finding 3 especially. It looked like they had no footing in that whatsoever. Look, it's a 4-on-2 at this point, and it's going to be Kiyoshima just wildly spraying there. He's just taking all the aggro away from the CTs, and there's this Ali backing him up from short as well, nailing every shot. It looked a little bit sloppy from Astralis, I have to say, but round 2 comes in. This is where money starts to become a problem. It's not so much of an issue going into this one because Astralis are not running a double orb setup, which could be a problem. That's what 90% of teams on the CT side of Dust2 will be doing. It's quite unorthodox to actually not see that come in when you have the option. I guess this is the new formation for them. Device changing his position this round. Not on short this time, aggressive towards the long doors. Text and Alu. Man advantage once again. Device did take a lot of damage in return, but still a valuable pick at the start. Does give them a little bit more to work with here. And the point you were making before is absolutely right. It's good to go for those aggressive picks. A lot of teams now on the terrorist side go for short control, especially teams like G2, Fnatic. They're all running the same set piece towards a bomb site himself. 2 smokes on the crossover, smoke on the actual site itself, flashing over. The AWP has no chance. So if you're going for those aggressive picks, making them use utility definitely is a huge asset for your team going forward.
Here we go again. B site, choice of destination from FaZe. Jacob's got the opening. They've got to fight back into their territory. Now lost. They've been evicted. Kirby, he didn't even have time to pick up his baggage before he was out the door, and now he's got to wait for his teammates to join him on this retake. Molotov out, smoke off. Standard play so far from FaZe. And the nade doing slight damage onto Xyp9x. It's better still from Rain as he'll take down Kerrigan. It's all falling apart. Kirby's going to have to come up large inside of the tunnels. He falls as well. Once more, FaZe just waltz into his site, and here we go. Yep. This is exactly what we talked about. It's the save coming out from the CTs in overtime because they need that residual weaponry, I guess. I was going to say cash, but they don't even have cash carried over on those 2 to drop, potentially.
Yeah, this is actually going to be pretty dire for the last round. You get $1,900, so it's not going to be great. They saved the AWP, they can save the M4 as well. There's no reason why FaZe could not go hunting it. They know how valuable these kills will be. It doesn't look like they'll be doing that, though. Sticking together, using the power and numbers, making sure the round's won at first point. And you can see they're kind of sniffing out the map now, but it looks like Device will save the AWP. He's on 22 HP. Xyp9x towards the long doors as well, just protecting him, his guardian angel. As the terrorists do start to swarm in towards the long A area. It's another successful round. There's bullying their way in towards the B side there. Rain finds the first 2 kills, and Jacob finishes things off as well. 17-15. We did say the magic number was 19. You can see how detrimental it's been for Astralis. They'll be going into this final round over the CT half. They're 2-0 down right now. They're going to have 2 UMPs, a Famous, and Xyp9x. I think he's got an M4 on the ground as well. So let's see whether they can hold on here. It's not much to work with, but something. And all the snipers come out. It's going to be the same sort of affair, but no headshots found this time. And there's dupreeh. Is the only one taking some damage there. So Device. Oh, hello. That's effective. Perfect.
dupreeh's got a degree in construction with that new nail gun. I don't really think you get a degree in construction. That sounds more like a diploma, to be fair. Certificate, maybe, even. But whatever it is, he's certified. I think has a great kill to get with that UMP. They've avoided all that damage from the auto sniper. However, Kirby overextending slightly. Or rather, dupreeh overextending, Kirby getting the trade, and now it's going to be Device rotating over in a timely fashion. He's able to find a quick kill out of the B site. They're down members again. They were in a 2 versus 4 to start off the first round of overtime, though, we're FaZe, and they've got to try and do it again here. They almost line it up at Rain. He's got the shot. Kirby goes aggressive early on, and they'll be able to split up and take back the tunnels potentially for FaZe, but watch the play coming in from CT. It's going to be caught potentially. Rain, no. Kerrigan's got it, so back toward the site he'll go. And it's going to leave Jacob to cover off 3 potential choke points back in behind the boxes. He can limit out the angle, spots 1, but timely fashion from Xyp9x through the window, and he's got the kill back.
That round was still either way there. Kiyobi's having a bit of a nightmare here on Dust2. Like, he just runs into the side by himself. His teammates aren't ready for the retake. He had someone coming from T-spawn as well. He could have just waited. There was plenty of time to work with. Lucky for him, his teammates step on the B tunnels, but that could have been very scary for them. They pick up that last round with very limited economy as well. They actually do rely on the AWP of Device this time. It actually works out for them. 2-1. Like we said, 19. The FaZe have the advantage going to the second half. I'm sure with this kind of money, we can see the double AWP from FaZe. Like I said, most teams will have a secondary AWP. It seems like Astralis are avoiding that, especially, well, from Dust2, from what we can work out right now. The double AWP setup for FaZe is normally going to be Alu and AZ if they want to, but in overtime, like I said, we've seen how the money can be affected. We'll see what the City swing to the table. Obviously not buying any head armor. You want to make sure you're keeping every bit of cash available. It's another $350 you can save. No one's going to have an SMG in the first round of overtime, so it does make sense. It all works out.
Device. Oh, he's trying. Does actually take up Alu that time. So Alu gets hit. He was the third one to cross. He goes down to 51. Hey, any damage is good damage. Take it. In overtime, you might just need it, especially with FaZe a one-round lead on the CT side now as we've swapped it over. But it is 51 HP on an AWP player, so he still has the potential to be lethal. He'll re-peek out toward the catwalk position. Astralis not yet advancing, so bomb's way back down toward T-spawn as well. They're going to have to go back for that at some point. Very clear indication that this is going to be a long, drawn-out affair of playing picks. 3 players flashed out in mid, I think only one of which was spotted. That's Kerrigan, but Alu's not going to risk going for the re-peek, knowing that they now have the ground to stand on, and Device exactly that. He's got the angle covered off. He just walks in, and Alu gives himself up.
Advantage for Astralis, and it looks like they'll be opting towards the A side as well. Molotovs and smoke still in hand. Device watching towards Goose, hoping someone will dare face him. The AWP has gone now for FaZe. That's Alu dropping, so the Molotovs come in. It's up to Rain holding towards City Spawn, and hopefully can do something with this. But it's Jake getting to find 2 of the silence, then 4. Lovely stuff from him, and all of a sudden FaZe come back to life. And it's an equal exchange for now, though. 3 versus 3. Time ticking away as we do get to the final move here for Astralis. Going towards B. Looks like a split potentially, as we have got 1 player towards mid.
29 kills for Xyp9x and Device. They've got Kirby with them. Xyp9x is already gone, though, as too is Kirby. Kiyoshima dropping bomb down in the tunnels, and Device, he's got an AWP, a Glock. Well, all right, 1 kill onto Jacob, finding him towards CT. I was going to say, but a crossfire to deal with. Rain went a little bit beyond that. He went toward the site. That gave the opening, but 12 seconds, round over. It's going to be map point for FaZe.
What a comeback that was. Astralis got the first pick. It seemed like the AWP was down. Everything was lining up for them, but it's Jacob this time. Fantastic work with the Silence M4. I'd love to see that from his POV to see how Christo's shots were. They sounded absolutely electrifying. It was Rain taking all the aggro and CD spawn as well, then Jacob is facing at the absolute opportune moment. And like you said, match point for FaZe. Astralis now need the final 2 remaining rounds to take us to overtime. We'll see whether it can be done. It's back on the AWP, no damage inflicted at the start. It's going to be 3 players head towards B tunnels for now, but Xyp9x showing presence towards long, and it's an aggressive play from AZ. He wants to end this right here, right now. He does get spotted, and Kiabi takes him down. Molotovs come in to stop the push from the terrorist straight away, but you have to say AZ. I like the confidence at least. As Ali boosted up towards short, gets the kill in return.
He's very confident, but is it warranted at this point in time? I guess they've got a round in hand on this map point, but at the same time, yeah, exactly. Kirby just walks into the tightest choke point.
No one with him.
In CS.
No grenades.
And Kiyoshima's going to get Kerrigan now. They've taken back the lead, and not only that, Kiyoshima's got full HP still after these 2 kills, and good positioning to try and shut them down further. Device, AWP, focus his direction, tries to allow Xyp9x in, does get there eventually, and it's traded back. As Kiyoshima finds Xyp9x, he has to wide peek to do so, and Device, well, he's now got a 1 versus 2 to save the map. I have to say, Kirby, too many times I've seen him get overextended this evening.
Yep, and missing big shots as well in huge rounds, but still, there is a chance of Device. Bomb will be planted. He has got smoke to cover him, but Rain, he can sense it. They've got to wait for the pump to go in and work together here.
The railing plant's quite clever because they won't hear him jump back up. He's gotten further away than they would have expected. That's going to allow him to catch out Rain. Flash over. Rain, he's already inside of the site, though. Or rather, excuse me, Alu. But the shot comes through and Alu holds it. They're going to pick up the map. That was actually a very clever plant in that sense because it does allow him to slip away a lot faster, but it's not fast enough to get away from both players. And FaZe take this map. They go 8-3 now on the season. Very impressive.
Yeah, what a game that was. We get overtime once again, the 3rd time this evening, and it was FaZe to pick it up. You have to say, though, there are some real key players from Astralis missing in the earlier sectors of this game, especially in the second half as well. Towards the end, Device started finding frags, and Xyp9x was stepping out tremendously, but Kiabi, for me, that's one of the sloppiest performances I've seen from him in a while. It wasn't just 1 or 2 rounds. It seemed consistently he's walking into positions, missing shots, and getting frustrated, and it's like the last round was evident of that. What was that play?
Yeah, and I'm actually slightly disappointed. I'd have to go back and find his Dignitas demos. I think there was games he was getting away with that against tier 2 teams, but anytime he played at tier 1, he always played more passive. I'd have to confirm that it was that consistent in terms of the trend. But that was a shocking game. He gave himself up way too many times, and not only that, wasn't even giving trade potential to his teammates in doing so. So, with that said, we'll go back to the desk. That's only one of the 2 maps these 2 teams are going to play, and that one was, although with the delay, it kind of seemed like a drawn-out affair. That was a barn burner. We'll see if the next one is as well.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Quite a close affair by the end of it, guys. What happened to Astralis up 10-5 at half-time, and it all went south from there?
I think that technical pause that long doesn't benefit anyone. I mean, even the losing team, right? They have time to maybe calm themselves down a little bit and everything, but at some point you just want to play the game again, right? But it seemed like Astralis couldn't really find their footing in the second half. Most of the times they would struggle. Their money system got reset early on. They lost the second round after they won pistols, so they were in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it felt to me like they were zoned out a little bit in that after the long pause there was, and FaZe winning that well, forced by essentially quite handily. And then actually it seemed at points that Astralis they had their communication spot on, really nice retakes and stuff, but then again losing the wrong rounds and having a lot of troubles with the economy, and FaZe just running away with it.
It was obviously the CT rounds that were the big problem for Astralis as the round started to stack up here as well. We saw a lot of time A site was the location of hit coming on towards short there as well. It seems that Astralis were struggling to sort of retake from that position, or at least even hold off there.
But then there was a lot of individual plays from like Hiroshima, Alu. They won like a 2-on-4 situation, you know, quite unwinnable at that point. But just, you know, another testament to how much individual skill is on this lineup.
Is that always the case with FaZe? I mean, in situations like this, is it always sufficient to say that, well, a lot of these rounds are purely based on the individual skill factor alone? Because they themselves have said, we're not really super tactical. We like to play like a free-flowing game style. And then some people have said, well, that's actually not true or whatever. Do you think that's the case here?
So, I mean, you can't really get away with just relying on that, but it like kind of gives you that extra edge, like every now and again, where you can get away with rounds that are not maybe tactically going your way, and you end up in a situation where you know, at 2-4, but you just have so much skill to play by that you will win those kind of rounds that you were never supposed to.
I mean, for them, pretty much the name of the game is get into the bomb site however we can and plant the bomb. And then even if they're at a disadvantage in the post-plant situation, you saw how Kiyoshima, with those 2 kills towards long, the one taps, you know, they can go for those aggressive plays, and it pays off for them more often than not because of how much skill they possess. We saw the first round of overtime, 2v4, out of nowhere, they managed to bring it back as well. Of course, you can always put some blame towards Astralis. Maybe could have played it a bit better, but you can't really do much when our players are on point and when they hit their shots like Kiyoshima did.
Well, they went close at the end, and it was an overtime. We thought we might be seeing 2 of them, but no. Just the one overtime to finish things off there. As always say, technical pauses.
What a shame.
Take their toll on players, but casters
My heart
as well
is broken.
sometimes. We were watching that game as well, and sometimes it seemed like all the rounds just melded together with that big break in the middle. But hopefully the next map will be nice and smooth. Guys, if you're wondering how that map actually played out or how we got to where we were after that halftime, maybe you went and got a cup of tea while you're waiting for the pause to finish, you can check it out on the Score Esports app. That's right, I'm sticking it right in there, ladies and gentlemen. You can get the app, of course, both on iPhone and Android devices at your respective app stores. And if you do want to check out the other content for other games, you can do so as well. There are also plenty of articles to get your teeth around. We're looking to sink our teeth into the map of Mirage, which is coming up next to be our last game of the night, or the morning as it may be. But stick around for that one. It should be another hot one.